Okay, we're live. All right. Man, I gotta tell you, it has been a stressful couple of weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, well, first of all, the Countess went in for some major dental surgery.
how's she doing, by the way?
She's doing great, actually.
Good.
But along the way, hey, Massimo, his dog. Um,
Yes, his
Hello,
dog.
neighbor dog. Neighbor dog, how are you? Oh, you're so cute. So I had that to deal with. That was actually funny enough. That was actually the easiest part. The hardest part was that my car started to have trouble on the trip, so
Ah,
had to send that thing into repairs. And by trouble, I mean like it's overheating and it's not turning right. So I had to make an hour and 15-minute journey on a car that I was afraid was gonna fucking fall apart any minute. Which
joy.
joy, like fucking amazing. But I managed to get back in one piece. Managed to get back in one piece. Hey, Sun Wizard, how you doing? And now it is currently in a garage where it is taking multiple days to diagnose everything, which I'm not real happy about. But at least it turns out it's probably not a blown head gasket, which means it's not going to be as expensive as I was afraid of. We're talking like 2,000. It might be
Okay.
$2,000 rather than like five. You know,
Okay.
but like they
Okay.
haven't even fucking dealt with the steering. They've just been diagnosing this. Yeah, it turns out your cold cooling system's all fucked up, but I think the head gasket is good.
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
like, well, I mean, that is good because those are cheaper
It is.
repairs. Because getting the head gasket off of a modern car, let alone a PT Cruiser, which is infamously the most difficult to get off. Oh my God. Like I did it myself, took me 6 weeks.
I remember you were
Yeah.
very
I
angry.
was
You were.
very pissed off. I was very happy that I got it fucking put back together and it worked. But at the same time, it's like, this is taking for fucking ever, you
I
know.
remember. I remember the mental image of your hands covered in grease, standing in front of your altar, looking at Baphomet, going, "Please."
Why? Please help me. Oh God of alchemy and all things science, like fucking help me with my major engineering problem. Luckily I'm a fully like equipped garage with mechanics that know what they're doing, can do it much faster, but it's still like a couple day process. And it's been a couple day process just to fucking figure out some of the shit that was wrong with it that wasn't the head gasket, that was related to the cooling problem. Which is basically okay. So I was like, I was not expecting that part of the problem would be that the thermostat housing had cracked.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, oh, and I'm like, I'm like in the back of my head, I'm like, oh shit, I know what that means, but I hadn't even thought of that as a possibility.
Well, because one doesn't automatically go to the thermostat housing has crashed.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, I didn't think that's okay. And some of the valves were also bad.
I, mm,
Yeah, so they're like, well, we got to replace some of the valves, and we obviously got to replace this housing. Probably should replace the thermostat on top of that, but the thermostat's like a $20 part. That's not a big deal. Um, and then we can move on to the steering because we don't want to take this fucker on the road until it doesn't overheat. And I'm like, that's fair. That's fair.
well, because when your engine overheats, it's bad, Chills.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
It's
bad.
really bad. Yeah, I'm kind of like, so I'm like, oh God. So I've been like grounded for like a week, and I'm like, my need to just drive around the fucking city has been really high.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I don't have the option.
And you're aware of the
And I'm
lack of
very
option.
aware of the lack of option because I've been like, man, maybe I should just drive around the city at night. Oh, God damn it.
I
I
can't.
can't. I can't. So I had to, so in order to get the Countess to a
Well,
checkup appointment, I had to borrow somebody's car
right.
who they let me, they were a prince about it. They were just like, yep, just pick me up after work the next day. Because I can get to work easy, but getting out of work is difficult because my shift ends at midnight. And I'm like, okay. And he lives in Pacifica. So like he works in town, he works in the city, but he lives in Pacifica. So that's a good like 20-minute drive. So and public transportation don't go out all the way where he live.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, sure, I can totally do that. It was kind of weird driving a car that didn't have too many problems. But at the same time, his car is a boat compared to mine. So I was like parking really gingerly, you know. There was a point where I bumped a car and I just peeled out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a parked car. I don't think I dinged it at worst. At worst, I dinged it. Now I'm just gonna fucking no, out of here.
No, you can't have the keyboard. This is my keyboard. There are
Yeah,
many like it, but this one is mine.
I. Oh my God, they're talking about the Haunting of House series on this series of. Okay, so there's this fucking doc on Netflix. It's produced by James Wan.
Okay.
And so it involves the fucking, what are they called? The Hendersons? The Conjuring movies are all about them.
Oh, the Warrens.
The Warrens. So it involves the Warrens. And I thought this was just going to be like, hey, we're going to listen to people's stories about their weird paranormal encounters. And these are the weird ones. These are the interesting ones. You know, because there are two types of docs when it comes to this kind of stuff. There's like, oh, that's actually kind of an interesting story. It just has this paranormal element that kind of propels it, you know, and come the fuck on. Bullshit. I call shenanigans.
And you're thinking, which one is this?
Which one is this going to be? And about like halfway through the third episode, I'm like, this is shenanigans. This is shenanigans. You know, like this is okay, because here's the thing. You know how if too many paranormal things happen at once to too many people, you're like, I think you made this up.
Well, yes.
You know, I think you made this up because, like, if it was this fucking evident, then there would be evidence. Like, we would know about the paranormal at that point. We would know something about ghosts at this point if this was real.
Right, because it's one of those things where, like, if ghosts are real, the reason we don't factually know it is because the ability to empirically evidence it is too far and few in between.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I'm like, there would have been a breakthrough paper on this. You know,
don't stand on the keyboard.
This would have made the news. Evidence of ghosts.
Yes.
You know, and I'm just sitting there like, I thought this was going to be like a real story. I'm starting to think that this is made up shit that just looks like a doc. You know,
Yes.
which to be fair, I totally would have been okay with that kind of movie. I've watched them before. Like, it's like, hey, we got a fake documentary here about a paranormal thing that is totally fictional, but we're going to do it anyway.
And what is this thing called?
Oh God, it's called like I think it's called The Haunting of Erie Hall. Hold on, let me double check.
Stop trying to eat wires. You will die. Anyway.
Let me see if I look up. Oh, True Haunting, the true story of Erie Hall. And I'm like,
No.
bullshit. Bullshit. It doesn't help that they have one of those docs with a lot of recreations.
See, this is why one of my favorite things right now is the tape library channel on YouTube. Because
What's the tape library? I'm familiar.
oh, okay. So the tape library, it's a paranormal stories channel.
Mm.
Um and the guy who makes this young British dude, it's a pretty good channel. It's a pretty good channel. It's great because it's him essentially reading the story of like it's like with each like paranormal file he like reads like the reported story, and then the second half is always like, okay, but what really happened, and he points out the things that we know evidentiarily
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
true.
We can verify that this occurred. You know.
Right. And he's pretty even-handed because he's one of those guys where it's like, no, I want to believe in the paranormal, but I also realize that rationalism is important.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
of
so
of course. You
right.
know.
So he's pretty even-handed, and it's great because he reads it in this very calming tone in a British accent.
Oh, so he's David Attenborough in it.
Yeah, and it has usually like very like it usually has like very like dark graphic images, and it's accompanied with like the background sound of like a tape whirring. Because the aesthetic is like we're recording things for an audio library. That's the aesthetic of what's going on here. So it's great to watch and also very comfortable to fall asleep to if that's your thing.
No, I'll check it out. The tape library, huh?
He just put out a 2-hour mini doc vid about the Warrens, and I was very happy because the second half of that doc was like, okay, now let's talk about the controversy and the bullshit. And I was like, oh please
Oh,
do.
please do, because like that couple is full of it. Yeah,
Shysters.
yeah, absolutely.
I was happy that he brought up the allegations against Ed Warren. I was happy that in this he brings up the
Excuse
fact
me.
that there were a couple times where Ed smacked Lorraine around and potentially gave her a concussion. So when you listen to her later stories and go, this sounds like a person who's hallucinating because of a traumatic brain injury, you start to go, hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, speaking of traumatic brain injury, I saw him.
Oh.
Quick capsule review because we're going to be vlogging it later tonight. Um, I liked it. It's really good. Now it is
Jordan
definitely a
Peele is
it's definitely the type of movie that I fucking love. Other people's mileage may vary, but I'm going to say that anyone who actually hated this movie is mad because they picked on football.
but they should pick on football.
Well, yeah, they should pick on football because,
J-
you
J-
know,
Jordan Peele is not wrong. He's
well,
never
it's not,
wrong.
well, he only produced it, he only
Oh, who's the
produced it.
director for this?
The director of him is this other guy. Hold on a minute.
But I
Is
no, I stick with that statement though.
Justin Tipping.
Okay, okay, but I stick with that statement though because Jordan Peele chose to produce this, so he saw something
Oh
good
yeah,
in
he saw
this.
potential in this shit, and it was definitely there. Yeah, this guy's actually directed. Oh wait, is this previous right? No, I don't need writer. And God damn it, fucking IMDb, stop fucking with shit. Um, Director. Yeah, he's actually directed a whole bunch of stuff. He directed The Chai and Dear White
Ooh,
People.
ooh,
Yeah, or at least the TV series. He was the director on the TV series.
it was still good.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, it it's interesting because it touches on not only racism but colorism.
Yes.
Yeah. And it
What's so fucked up is trying to explain to everyone that every non-white ethnic minority has colorism problems.
Oh yeah, no, totally,
it's
absolutely.
it's a wild convo.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're. It's interesting because you're running into like you're running into the stereotypes and ethnic prejudices of other people through the colonial lens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's kind of what colorism is. But it's not that you're seeing it wrong just because you're a colonial, you have a colonial ancestry. It's also a little bit of like you're noticing a pattern. You're noticing a pattern that might not actually be quite as obvious from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Because colorism is real. It's
Very
definitely real. Cave Witch
yes.
says it sounded like him as a cross between Neon Demon with it sounds like Neon Demon with football. Yes. Yes,
And
it
that's why you
is.
should
That's
watch
why you
it.
should watch it. That's what I loved about it. Like a lot of people are like, I didn't understand this, and I'm like, you're being deliberately obtuse. Like this was the movie has a very simple premise. Football is a cult.
Oh, good. Good. I was, because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw the trailer initially in the theater, I was like, that's a Jesus. That's a sacrificial lamb. That's a Jesus.
I'll say this. Yes and
And
no.
no. But
Because
but the
because let
messianic
me put it this way:
imagery
the
was
original
there.
title of the movie was GOAT, goat, which they had to change because it was another movie with the same title,
Mm-hmm.
and so they changed it to HIM, His Infernal Majesty, as well as him being the man.
Yes.
Yeah, some stuff happens.
Oh, awesome. We're talking about the Paschal Lamb and the scapegoat. I love it.
Yes,
I
yes,
love it. I love
yes.
it. We're doing it was just in time for Yom Kippur.
War. Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was. Holy
yeah.
shit. That's really good
It's
marketing.
the movie's pretty wild. I really loved it. It's one of the it's it's got that weird kind of it's interesting watching a movie about occultism through the lens of football.
Hey man,
Yeah, through
everything
the
can be
lens
a
of football and toxic masculinity.
hey man, everything can be a cult. That's the beauty of
Yes, yeah,
occultism.
that's the beauty of occultism. Like you put something in its terms and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Speaking of which,
Uh-huh.
I first of all, since we mentioned Baphomet
Mhm.
earlier, I finally bought a new statue that should be here in the week,
Ooh.
which is great. It took me a while because no offense, but do you know how hard it is to find a non satanically leaned statue of Baphomet these days?
Well,
Do
I
you know
imagine that's near impossible.
Yeah, and when I say that, I want to point out when I say that, I'm just like, okay, cool. Pentagram on his head is facing upward. Awesome. And he's sitting on a goddamn sigil of Leviathan. God damn it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
I'm
looking for
trying.
more. You're looking for more of the Alpheus Levi.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Which I found a wooden one, so I bought it. But speaking of that, I have gone back into Eliphas Levi.
Yeah.
I've dived back into Dogma et Rituel de Haute Magique,
Mm-hmm.
and I just got to reiterate: anyone who has not read this book, don't fucking talk to me about Western occultism. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't.
Wait,
Just don't.
which book?
Uh, uh, Dogma and Ritual of High Magic.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
I'm like, if you don't come up to me going, I'm a magician. Have you read this? Are you familiar with this book? No, shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind
This
of
is my new
important.
criteria.
Yeah, like The good thing, well, let me put it this way: it's what separates. Like it kind of separates the men from the boys, the serious practitioner from the hobbyist.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
because it's one of those things of I don't know how else to say it. The man invented 20th century Western occultism. He
yes,
invented the goddamn thing. It's like
yes.
I read Crowley wouldn't have shit without Levi.
Oh no, God no. God knows, so much of his stuff is based on Levi. Like, don't get me wrong, Aleister Crowley added a whole bunch of shit, but he's standing on Levi's shoulders.
The
You
fucking
know.
the fucking Wiccans wouldn't have shit
Oh
without
fuck
Levi.
no. Oh hell
Modern
no.
chaos magic would have nothing without him.
Yeah. You are right. The entire Western magical tradition is based on Levi's works.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yes. Oh. Um. But man, I I've been slacking. Do I have a statue of Baphomet from Nightbreed? I do not. I have a statue of Baphomet, but not the one from Nightbreed. I'd love, dude. I would love like a life size one of those just to have in my house, although it would probably take up too much space. You know what I mean? Just have it and have it lit up and just be like, "Behold, Baphomet." You
Jack, the
know,
torch of illumination is through the ceiling. Shut
hold
up.
up. I'll need that.
Well, because it's one of those things where like someone was like, okay, how to put it? When you worship Baphomet, it's fine because you're used to idolizing concepts.
Yes,
That's fine.
yes.
That's fine. Someone recently came up to me and said, "Hey man, I'm thinking of starting to worship Baphomet," and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it." And they're like, "Well, why?" I'm like, "He's not a god."
Yeah. He's not a god in the traditional sense.
Yeah, and they're like, well, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "It's a map. It's a blueprint. He's not even a he. He's a they
He's a
because he's an
they.
androgen.
Yeah.
But they're a blueprint and they are a mirror and a map. That doesn't make sense. Read the text."
Then you definitely shouldn't because it's one of those things. Well, you have to understand. Most people
Hmm.
have to understand that that's what all gods are.
Well, yes.
All gods contain that. Well, I mean, most of them. I can think of a few. I can think of a major exception. Um,
Oh, that one we have to deal with all
the
the
one
time.
we have
Yeah.
to deal with all the time because they're like, hey, if it's just whatever we say it is in the moment, then we can get away with telling people to do anything, which unfortunately they were very correct. What's my opinion on Agrippa? I don't have that much of an opinion on Agrippa because I'm not as familiar with Agrippa as some of the others.
I feel bad for Agrippa.
How come?
Oh, this man's entire career was trying to convince people that natural magic was a thing.
Oh,
Um, I this man's entire because like Cornelius Agrippa is trying so hard to convince people. Like, no, really, I can be Christian and do sorcery, guys. It's fine.
yeah. Well, I can think of one side of that argument that would have a problem. Well,
Yes, yeah.
one of the things you have to understand really quickly, that you start to understand really quickly about magic, quote unquote, is magic is whatever supernatural weirdness the dominant religion and faith of the area doesn't accept.
Yes.
And this can come down to anything.
Sir,
Like for example,
no, do not eat my microphone. What in God's name?
this can come down to the ability to create fire.
Yes. In fact, Quest for Fire is partially about that.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Once magic becomes part, if something magical is part of the dominant religion, it becomes a miracle.
Yes.
That's kind of the way it is. And there are very few, although they do exist. They're mainly Eastern religions that have what I guess in the West we would call like the right hand path and the left hand path.
Mm-hmm.
that are both seen as valid, but you're always supposed to use the left hand path very carefully.
And
You know,
it's not because it's evil. It's because it's easy to get to fuck it up.
yeah, yeah, it's easy to screw up.
You
You
know,
know,
I well, it's interesting too because I was kind
like a
of
lot of exorcism rituals
mm-hmm.
in Asia, they're not necessarily, they are sometimes referred to as black magic because that's left hand path, even though you often call upon those guys to do the exorcism on someone's behalf, on someone's
Mm-hmm.
to someone's benefit. You know, the exorcism itself is not considered evil, but the fact that the person knows that makes them like questionable.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing, right? It's like if you're doing purely right hand path spirituality, then you would have created a sacred space that itself was so pure that evil spirits don't come into it. If you know how to command an evil spirit, it's because you've studied the
You
other
studied it.
shit.
You studied the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of like Buddhist and oh god. What's the type of Buddhism that it's a type of monastic Buddhism that exists within the Hindu space.
Oh, you mean like Tibetan Buddhism or
Yeah, 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 like that. Like that. But there's another one I was thinking of. Well, let's go with Tibetan Buddhism because it doesn't really matter for the example.
hmm.
Where the priest is expected to know these rituals. You know, they are expected to know, you know,
Hmm.
taboo things. You
Oh,
know.
yeah, no, it's very weird if like if like if a Buddhist monastic who is especially one who is supposed to be able to um like do exorcisms, for instance. It's one of those things of like, what do you mean you don't know Ch? What do you mean you don't know Bon? I don't understand. And those are the those are the things, man.
Right, right, right. They're supposed to have knowledge of all of it, you know. But we don't. Those people are still kind of like special, if you know what I
Hmm.
mean. You know,
Hmm.
like that's not you know, it's they're not seen as evil people, but they're seen as people with special powers. Um, Thoranda, I don't know if that's it. Let me look it up. Thoranda is an old Roman part of Kosovo. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm thinking of. Um,
I think someone might be thinking Theravada, which is like the type of which is old school Buddhism. It's like it's old vehicle Buddhism. That's the Buddhism that's popular in like
oh yeah, yeah,
Burma and
yeah, yeah,
Thailand.
yeah. That is it. Theravada.
Hmm.
That is it. Okay.
Because it's Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana.
Yeah. School of Elders is the Chinese. There's also a Vietnamese. It's primarily practiced in Cambodia. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Um, these days it's currently practiced in Cambodia. Um, okay, yeah, thank you, Jade Hilton. Uh, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So, how do we get on exorcism again?
Oh, because we were talking about like ceremonial magic and shit.
Oh, ceremonial
I
magic. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's so fucking funny though because if we're using Levi's model
Yeah.
as a common language space, I recently had to help someone because they thought they were under demonic oppression, and I was like, "You are probably not."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're like, "What are you talking about, man?" I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm literally speaking as a magician. You're probably not. Let me come over. What's going on? Talk me through what the fuck you're talking about." And after 15 minutes of listening to this, I was like, That ain't no demon, that's psychic larva.
Yeah. That's just shit fucking with you.
Yeah.
Like an actual like even in our space, like you can't get possessed by a
Hmm.
demon unless you kind of formally enter that agreement.
Correct.
You know, like you like just like you have to be participating.
Hmm.
And I I feel two ways about the practice. On the one hand, there is like some of the stuff I see in voodoo, which is, not to call the Loa demons, but like but it's a similar idea. You allow you go through a ceremony that formally allows the Loa
Ride
to
you.
possess you, to you become a cheval.
Yeah.
You know, they don't just possess things willy nilly. You know, there's like this formal agreement. There's a big purification ritual that takes like I think a year. Um,
Yes.
I'm not an expert on voodoo. I'm just like a really
But
enthusiastic explorer.
it's usually, like, I'll say it this way, from what I understand of like of the preemptive rituals for Route de Cheval, it's like it's at least a year. It can be a bit more. There's like year and a couple months.
Yeah,
It could,
yeah. Like the one that I knew, it took them a year.
Mm.
Where they had to do the whole thing of like they could only wear white, they always had to stay clean, they could only eat white things.
Was this a wait? I'm gonna make a guess.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to smoke, right?
And they weren't allowed to smoke, correct? So not
So
Baron Samedi.
no, wait. So this was a Cheval of
Bala,
Dambala.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dambala, yeah. I don't know if it was specifically Dambala Uedo because he might
Well,
be particular to Haiti, but I'm not sure.
Well, Damballa. Well, it's interesting. So Damballa Uedo is actually the joining of Damballa and his wife Oedo as like a mutual deity.
Oh.
So Damballa is still Damballa, but Damballa Uedo just means Damballa with Oedo at the same time.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
Hmm. Yeah,
That does show what I know.
it's what yeah,
Yeah.
it's why the book and movie are called The Serpent
Serpent
and the
and the
Rainbow,
Rainbow.
because they are married and they
Oh.
are, yeah.
Oh. Duh. I'm stupid. Okay. Yeah, I should have gotten that immediately. I
Yeah,
got the serpent part, you know.
you like snakes.
I do like snakes. My friend, a friend who I see relatively often, had to get rid of his snake, and I'm sad because I'm like,
Oh,
I wish I trusted myself to take care of a reptile. So I really like a snake, but I'm very, very, very worried about my ability to actually care for a reptile.
but that's the thing, though. I respect the fact that you're more concerned about the well-being of the animal.
Well, yeah,
That's what you should
I
be.
don't want to accidentally kill the thing. I mean, I like it, you know.
I feel.
Yeah, so Dumbala Wado, are they then? Yeah, actually, that would be they would be a they. They would be a they in all fucking ways.
Especially since it is also a plurality. So yes.
Yeah. They are a plurality. That would be they on all levels. You
and
know.
it's and I always try to it's so funny trying to explain this to people. I'm like Damballa does not come to all the ceremonies, and people are like, why? I'm like,
Oh no.
because Damballa and Oedo, they both need things to be very natural and
Very
pure.
particular. You
Yeah.
know. Of a type that is not that common in Louisiana.
Hmm.
So I think that's actually partially one of the reasons. I mean, don't get me wrong, like everybody like makes it's not quite offering, although it is that.
Everyone venerates.
Everyone venerates Dumbala Wado or Dumbala, like everybody. But like there's a reason why The more common fucking Loa to deal with in Louisiana voodoo are Baron Samedi, Legba, Papa Legba,
Mhm, mhm.
and
Well, because Legba's always there.
Erzuli. You know,
Yeah, like Legba's like always there at every Peristil,
yeah,
but but yeah, like in Louisiana, like you mostly see people dealing with the different Gaydays.
yeah,
So Papa Gayday, Mama Brigitte, Baron Samedi, and a lot of people dealing with Chongo. You're seeing a lot more Chongo these
yes,
days.
yeah. You
Um,
do.
and both Erzulie Freda and Erzulie Dantor.
Yeah,
But
you know.
but yeah.
Yeah. I forget which. Erzuli Freda is the one who's equated with the Virgin of Guadalupe imagery, right?
Well, Erzulie Dantor is the Black Madonna.
It's the
She's the
Black
one that's
Madonna.
like
Oh, okay.
she's the very dark skinned Madonna. Erzulie Freda is usually the very like light skinned one that usually has like all the all the pearls and gold
Right,
and
right.
you know.
Okay, all right.
Don't get me wrong, Dentor also likes gold, but she's a little
Yeah,
she's a little butch. She's a little
yeah. One of the things I think is really, really like kind of, here's where it gets mind bending. Here's where syncretism gets mind bending.
Mhm.
Um, the way that voodoo and the relationship between voodoo and Santeria.
Mhm.
The relationship with voodoo and Santeria is kind of easy to spot.
Well, yeah,
You
because they
know,
both come from they're both like extensions of the Yoruba
yeah,
religion, but
yeah.
one is amongst the French colonizers and one is amongst the Spanish
Spanish.
colonizers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But then you get our 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 favorite dark spirit, Santa Muerte, which
Mm.
is different.
Well, yeah, because she's the configuration of like of Spanish feminine Grim Reaper energy with the native Aztec Micatzanequatl death
Yeah,
goddess.
yeah. That combined a different way. That went a different way.
Hmm.
You know, and it's cool because it's spooky. One of the I forget. Oh God, I forget what I was watching. I was watching some uh documentary about like a couple that had disappeared,
Hmm.
or like one of them had disappeared. I can't remember, but I remember they were like, I feel like we should go to Mexico, and like someone's recounting this. We ran into an old lady who told them that they needed to go to not Tenochtitlan, that's just Mexico City, but that borough.
Oh, Torpedo.
Torpedo. Yeah, thank you. That they had to go to Torpedo. And I'm like, yeah, you should have. She wasn't lying.
But
You
you
gone to
didn't.
Torpedo, you wouldn't have had, and none of this would have happened.
It's like, but that burrow is very, very dangerous. Yes,
Yes,
but it's
it's
hers.
hers. It's also where the major temple of Santa Muerte is. And I've known I have a lot of friends well, not maybe not a lot, but several
Oh,
friends
who have
who
made
have
the
made the
pilgrimage?
journey to Topita.
Yeah.
And they were white people. Well, I mean, one of them was a white woman married to a Colombian guy.
Mm.
So I'm sure that helped. You know,
Plus,
but
also,
it's pretty open to tourists.
well, yeah, especially because of that, and it's very interesting because again, if you go around like wearing her, especially like as a medallion or something like that, like people aren't gonna fuck with you. You're one of her.
Yeah. Oh man, there's this random conversation that you hear in Cyberpunk 2027 when you're in the Valentinos area, and one guy's like, "I swear, by Santa Muerte, no, don't say that, man. Don't say it. She can hear you." And I was like, "Aw,
It's
somebody
true
got
though.
it. Somebody got it. Somebody actually understood."
Don't like, oh god, like no, seriously, god, God on high help you if you swear by her and you're lying.
You're lying. Yeah, that's not gonna go well.
No, it's bad, man. It's a bad time. Don't lie to Godmother. You don't lie to La Madrina.
Yeah, yeah, and I get some people was like, well, isn't that someone that the cartels worship? I was like, well, they're gonna worship. Hey, they're gonna worship somebody. Like people are used to, for example, like we in the West are. We think of criminal families as being secular.
Mhm.
They aren't. Not even the mafia is. Mafia is generally very Catholic.
There's literally an entire traditional ritual involving saint cards.
Yeah, yeah, and so and the cartels, the Central American cartels are no different. They've got their religious rituals. They've got their god. No fucking different. Just like, and to say nothing of the triads. Whoa, they take ritualism to like a whole other level. It's fucking insane. Like you're swearing by blood. You're claiming you're saying that you wish like the seven knived curses upon you should you break the brotherhood. Like it's fucking the underworld and the underworld are not that far apart.
They are very related.
Yeah, they're very related. You know, which I always found like really fascinating. Like, there's a reason why, like, let me put it this way: there's a reason a lot of gangbangers have like Jesus on their guns.
Hey, man, Saint Jude's popular for a reason.
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely.
Yep.
I fucking oh god, I really want a replica of um one of those like Virgin of Guadalupe 9 millimeters.
Yes.
Dude, they look so fucking cool,
Do
but I
they
don't
not?
know. I don't know if I don't want a real gun in my house, but I'd love a replica of one. You
If
know
I if I had a Virgin of Guadalupe uh, 9 millimeter, do you know what I would call it?
what?
La Chancla.
La Chancla. Oh my god. Oh my god, that'd be
What?
great.
Well, because no, I mean, look, at the point where we're shooting a version of Guadalupe 9 millimeter, like, no, there's a certain level of reverence that's out the window.
No.
There's just there's just a certain level that's just gone. I
Oh my god. I
oh
always it's well like, okay, so in Babylon the character of Lucian has a pistol that has engraved on its side the whole of the law.
do what thou wilt.
Yeah, do with that will. The whole of the law.
Law.
you know?
I. It's also funny because hole. Um, because it makes holes. It's also funny.
Yes.
But I Jack,
Yeah.
Jack. You know how one of the problems about being an occultist is that
Oh.
hold on, no, because I have a recent thing I gotta share, which is, you know how like one of the problems about being an occultist is that your gods don't shut the fuck up,
Oh,
like
sometimes.
ever.
Sometimes, yeah.
No. Let's be fair. When they're quiet, it's because we're successfully ignoring it.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's be fair.
Okay,
That's
fair enough.
what
Fair
this
enough.
is.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
So
no, I need to be in conventional reality for a little bit here, like,
they're very insistent on not.
yeah.
So
Thai gangsters have Buddhist blessings tattooed on them. That's awesome.
yes,
I didn't
yes, they
know.
do.
I should have thought of that, but I didn't know that.
Oh, they do. They get huge tattoos. It's great
Oh,
because
oh.
well, in Thailand, there's like that whole tradition of like the old fashioned stick and poke, very elaborate
Oh
Buddhist
yeah, 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 yeah,
geometric
yeah.
tattooing.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. The gangsters get that shit too. It's funny. It's great. just have just having like a sutra on your arm while you're shooting a guy. but so, and you know how I was all proud of myself because I'm talking to the Black Goat of the Woods. I'm
Oh yeah.
talking to the King of Elfhame. Blah blah blah. Look the fuck at me, bitty bit.
Right.
He gave me a side quest.
Oh, what's that?
I'm making a coven now.
Oh, got to get organized. I know.
oh,
I know. Sometimes they want you to do that shit.
oh, it was great. He gave me a dream about a building, like a small physical meeting space and what it's supposed to look like. And he showed me how it's laid out and the color scheme and how the ritual room is supposed to
I
be laid out. It was great. Oh, it was so great. You know what he didn't tell me? Didn't tell me where to find people, how to pay for it.
That's always my problem, right? Like there used to be I there yeah. I have my own one of those that I don't know what to do about. Because it's really literally about just creating the space,
right.
you know. How does one create a space on that on that grandiose level in this city?
It's
And it's annoying because I'm like, oh, I could see why it needs it.
mhm,
I see the need. I just don't see the
the how.
possibility. Yeah, I don't see the how, particularly me because I'm like, I'm broke.
That's why
You
you got to
know.
get the people first.
Yeah, yeah. Got to
Like
get the people first. Yeah.
the approach I'm taking. The
Well,
approach
I
I'm
think I might
taking.
need the money first because with the money, I'm pretty sure I could get it together. But the money is the problem.
Exactly, which is why the approach I'm taking is to gather people first and, start hammering out the group dynamic. And I I don't have any logical basis for this. I'm getting the inkling and the messaging that once I get the right people together,
Ah.
there's going to be a presentation of like the area to put the thing will become available and show itself.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, all right, cool, let's go with that. Before anybody sounds off in the comments going, I want to join, I need this to be an actual physical place eventually because that's the end goal. So I'm
Yeah.
looking for local people, no offense to anybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's oh god, oh, someone mentioned Latinos against spooky shit. Which is a an Instagram channel. And
Latinos against spooky
against
shit.
spooky shit. And what I've discovered, because I didn't realize this, but Vicks Vapo Rub is a sacred balm, apparently.
Oh, it is.
I did not know that.
You know what else is a sacred bomb? Tiger Balm.
The Tiger Balm I knew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tiger Balm I knew. I'm Chinese. You know,
I
but
use I
Vicks
use Tiger
Vapo
Balm
Rub
every.
I didn't know.
You can use either Tiger Balm or Vicks Vapor Rub on a daily basis for a cleansing and shielding ritual.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
The major components of which are to sprinkle a diffusion of Florida water in regular water on yourself, and then to take either your Tiger Balm or Vicks Vapo rub it into your temples, rub it into your wrists and on the back of your neck while doing basic visualizations, and you can add any type of like chant, spell,
Right.
mantra, charm into that you'd like.
Yeah.
But that's the idea. But you do have to get those points at the back of the neck because the back of the neck is considered a vulnerable spiritual area because people are behind your back.
Right. Right. Like the Latinos against spooky shit is really funny because like he'll take like an internet video of like I see a ghost, be like,
Mhm.
no, I'm the resident Latino against spooky shit. I'll tell you how to deal with that. Get some chili powder, get some of that, you sprinkle it on that, and don't forget your Vicks Vapo Rub. Yeah, all right, I clear that right up. uh,
There was, I think it was, I
oh,
think it was.
does Tiger Balm actually repel mosquitoes?
I think it does.
I should fucking use it just for that. Because mosquitoes love me, and I don't
You have to get
like
the
their love.
I don't like their love. You have to get the red one though.
You have to get the red one.
You have to get the
Well,
red one.
that's. I didn't realize there was another kind.
There's a white one which is essentially just amrutnogen, and I'm just like, why do we have two things?
Yeah, I thought it was the same stuff.
Well, so the thing that's always in
I mean,
Tiger
like
Bomb
that little thing will last you forever. So, like,
oh, it's true. It really will. But the thing about Tiger Bomb is what makes Tiger Bomb is that it always has Vicks and menthol in it. I'm sorry, not Vic, but it always has camphor and menthol in it.
oh, okay.
The thing that makes the red Tiger Bomb red is that there's also cloves and conjovi oil in it, and that's what
Hmm.
makes it red. That's what gives it like that really nice. When you put a decent amount on an
Yeah,
aching
yeah,
muscle,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
what gives it that nice spice kick. Is the cloves and the conjovi oil in there.
Oh, okay.
Um, Whereas there is a white ointment of Tiger Balm that's just the camphor and the menthol. To which my response is, why don't I just get Vicks? Because that's
Vicks. Yeah,
Vicks.
yeah.
Because that's Vicks.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. I've only ever seen the red. I've only ever seen the red. At least, like, I've only ever used it. You know.
Mm. Vicks, the white tiger balm, or the Indian white tiger balm, which is amrutnogen. These three things are great for a headache because what you do is you take like either Vicks or white tiger balm and rub it really good into your temples and chug like a full glass of water. Any headache you have, as long as it's not a migraine, it's going to knock it the fuck right out.
Hmm. Well, I'm liking this. So it's the red one that repels mosquitoes.
I believe so, yes.
I'm gonna have to look into that because, like, I'm tired of getting bitten the shit of. Well, I'm trying to sleep because one of the problems of the Bay Area is it's very mosquito friendly. Not as much as some places, but enough.
I think there's something wrong with me. The mosquitoes have stopped loving me the way they usually do.
Well, what's your blood
Which
type?
A positive.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
Right on.
mosquitoes are most attracted to O positive, which is mine.
That's fucked.
Yeah, because they could smell the difference from a distance. Bastards.
Evolution's a fucker.
Yeah, evolution. Yeah, that's weird. You know, I'm like, okay. You know, because I was like, why am I getting bitten by mosquitoes? If you're of O positive blood type, mosquitoes are unusually attracted to you. Oh, thanks. Oh,
Well,
great.
but I mean, okay, but here's my thing: is that like when I was younger, I used to get bit up like all the time, constantly, and I don't know why. And then like something happened over the past like 5 years where like, dude, this past year I used bug repellent once, and it was because I was going into an area that had ticks.
Ooh.
You know, so I was just being preemptive.
Right, right.
But they don't really like bite me like that and anymore. And it's as weird and fucked up as it sounds, there's a part of my brain that's like, am I dying? Like, are they?
Do they
Do you
know
know what I mean?
something I don't know?
Like, the parasites aren't coming near me. Is something wrong?
Oh my
It's
god.
like it's like you know it's like the weird experience of being the one person who walked through a lake and didn't have leeches on them. It's just like, is something wrong with me? Am I diseased?
Oh, jeez.
Which again, it's one of those things of like, I get why people would be like, "You lucky bastard," and it's like, okay, but am I though? I don't know. Oh my god.
Oh my, yeah. Like, oh, jeez.
Jeebus.
Man, Jeebus. My brain. My brain.
My brain's full of occultism.
That's better than mine. Mine is filled with self-doubt, and I gotta exercise that shit.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying, man. Because
Well,
like,
again, Well, again, dude. I mean, to go back to Levi, what does he say? He says that sovereignty of self is literally the most crucial thing. Because if you fuck around with shit and you don't have self sovereignty, it's gonna go bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm apparently a little vulnerable to that spirit of self, that demon of self doubt. Which
Clear
is,
your psychic larva.
well, it's weird because like I was realizing one thing I found out the other day, which made me feel a little better,
Mhm.
is that they're like, yeah, one of the side effects of ADHD is always seeing what more could have been done.
Yeah, it's part of that executive dysfunction.
Yeah, yeah, you could see how much more it's like if you could, and you're like, and you do have all this what seems like extra time, which is actually you recharging. That
Mhm.
if you could just work at peak during those periods of time, like you
Mhm.
essentially you in many ways would be unstoppable. You know,
Yes.
um, at least creatively. But it don't work like that. You can see it, but that doesn't mean you can do it because a lot of your motivation is fucked up.
It's executive dysfunction is a wild and bizarre experience to try to explain to someone who doesn't have it.
Oh yeah, agreed.
It's
Agreed.
so it's so wild because it's so bizarre to look at someone and go, believe me, I want to do the thing. I know I need to do the thing. I am aware of everyone telling me that I have to do the thing. Part of my brain hole is constantly screaming at me, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. I'm aware that I need to
Yeah,
do the
but
thing.
all I can do is
And
sit here and be sad for some reason.
yeah. And yet I cannot
I
do the
cannot do the thing.
thing.
You don't have enough of the chemical of the neurotransmitter that makes that happen.
Mhm.
Because there is actually a little thing in your brain that generally fucking activates when you fucking have to do something. In ADHD people, that doesn't fucking happen as easily. It's much harder, and so also you burn through it really quickly in moments of hyperfocus.
Mhm.
It's what create it's so now you don't have as much. You can hyperfocus on something and get a lot done in a small period of time, but then the recharge rate sucks.
It's also why we get so mad when people interrupt our
Yes.
hyperfocus.
Yeah,
Like,
because we know we're losing time when that happens.
you're wasting my brain.
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell is being surrounded by boomers. One of the things that speaking of
Yes.
old people,
Oh no.
like I don't know what it is about because it's not all old people. It's just a very particular segment of old people that just seem to become more hateful as they age. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's why I mean, I know it's a fear response, you know,
I I know it's because
it's a
I know it's
fear
been said.
response, but you don't necessarily know how the fear is running through their brain, you know.
No, you don't. And it is one of those odd things of like, I know it's become a meme at this point, so people are no longer taking it seriously when I say it, but I really do mean it. I blame the lead. I
I'm not so
really mean it.
sure. I'm not so sure. I mean, maybe it's a factor, but I am not utterly convinced, you know, because
Oh,
one of
I'm not saying it's the sole reason. I'm saying it's responsible for a lot of literal brain rot.
oh yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
they might that might be the thing. They can't think their way around something,
Hmm.
whereas to some of us that becomes very that reflex. You
I
know?
want I want there to be a study done on boomer amygdalas.
Yeah, I'm sure there has been.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious
Yeah.
because I look at that generation and I'm like, a large amount of you, and let's be fair, a large amount of like non-freak Gen X as well. Let's be fair.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
A
We
lot
got our
of
we got our Troys and Muffies out there.
a lot of these people, both boomers and Gen Xers, are operating on a primal lizard brain, and I'm like, where is your sapience, man?
I
Why am I get
know.
why am I getting reptilian sentience? Where is your sapience?
Well, like my favorite example of non-adjustment in people, and this affects people both old and somewhat younger,
Mm-hmm.
younger meaning middle age. Um, okay, so manufacturing jobs. There are actually a lot of manufacturing jobs available in the United States, but very few people qualify for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? Now, part of this is our own lack of action as a society, which is we're not training people for these jobs.
Correct.
People are
Yeah.
untrained for these jobs, but at the same time, like you got motherfuckers expecting coal to come back, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's not how that works.
That's not
It's a
how it
natural
works.
resource.
That's not how it works. All the manufacturing jobs now require you have a basic understanding of computers at a minimum. And I'm like, well, how hard is that to find in America? And among the people who are clamoring for manufacturing to come back, rare. It's actually rare among those who are most loudest looking for manufacturing jobs, which is one of those, excuse me? How how do you function on Facebook and not have a basic understanding of computers? Apparently you can. I would have thought that you needed a basic understanding of how a computer works in order to operate Facebook. But no. And I blame cell phones.
I was okay. Uh, I the other day, one of our room teachers
Oh
was
no.
trying to hold on, hold on,
Oh.
wait. So we have a student who is from Beijing,
Okay.
and she only fluently speaks simplified Chinese,
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Beijing
Makes
dialect.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Beijing dialect, simplified Chinese, Mandarin Chinese. And on top of that, even in Chinese, does not have a very wide vocabulary. So we have like a personal translator for her. But one of our room teachers was doing a presentation that involved showing a video to the whole class. Fair
Okay.
enough.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And she was sitting there and going, she was going, I just don't. Maybe I can let her use my phone and use the translator after my phone. She just like stands near the television, so it translates, and I'm just like, why don't you put Chinese subtitles on? Especially since, because I need to point out, the video that she's is from YouTube, so I'm like, just put Chinese subtitles on.
Right.
And she was like, that's too advanced for me. I can't do that.
There's literally a button for it.
I walked her through this process, and she was attentive and listened to it and did remember how the process worked, but the entire time was acting like was like, wait, hold on, slow down. Which button? Wait, hold on. It needs to have a red line. Why a red line? Are you sure? Shut the fuck up. Just listen to what I'm saying. and do the thing. Like, well, I don't understand how you know all this. I'm like, you have Google. You look up how to do a thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you do the thing. It's the amount of them that know that they have search engines and what search engines are, but refuse to properly use a search engine is insane to me.
Yeah, it is insane, particularly the fact that it will parse whole sentences.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh, especially now that it has Gemini. Especially now that it has Gemini, it will really make it easy for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, there's like, and I'm guessing this person is, how old is this person?
In their fifth.
In their 50s.
Like late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, geez.
Very like late 50s. I think I think they're like 59.
Wow. Wow. That's still a little young to be that computer illiterate. Whoa.
I want Knitting Samurai in the comments. I once blew my office's mind by putting a formula in Excel.
Margaret, get some biscuits. There's some newfangled shit happening in here.
Yeah.
Oh God. I'm not
Logan.
Wow. I never thought like my ability to put like an add sum in fucking Excel would be like a superpower, right?
Like literally.
How did free knowledge make us more stupid? Couple of ways. One, by making it seem so easy. So we have this weird thing where if something seems like it's easy, it means that we don't have to train ourselves on it. That's one way. The other way is because there is a lot of bad information out there. You know, that's just incorrect. Just not correct. And also, it's a lack of hands. Like, training to do something will generally involve some sort of manual dexterity work. You know, and we remember things that we do that way much easier than...
To be fair, we've evolved that way.
Yeah, we've evolved that way. You know, like this is how, for example, your mechanic can fucking like just completely repair your car, do everything, but can't do not that good at algebra.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because mechanics is a manual is involves a lot of manual dexterity.
And spatial reasoning.
Yeah. And a sort of like ability to visualize how that shit works. I know for me, one of the biggest revelations in plumbing and even in auto mechanics, this is true, but there are other forces at work. All right. What's the primary thing the plumbing works on?
Gravity and surface tension?
Yes, gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity's the big one. You know, water flows down. It wants to do this. You know, and when you realize that, it's really easy to figure out how drain works. Oh, it's the part that goes down.
Yeah.
You know, turns out that type of reasoning isn't very common, or is rarer than you think.
I also, by the way, I also said surface tension because I feel that all professional plumbers have a subconscious, innate understanding of water's surface tension.
Well, they understand how things mix or don't mix with water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like you're always applying putties and, you know, cranking bolts and all sorts of things like that.
Oh, but also because if you're putting in a drain, you have to know where to put the U.
Yeah.
How high to put the U, and that
well, you don't necessarily. You don't. Well, you do, but you don't necessarily need to know it ahead of time. But you do need to know what to do if if it doesn't just do that.
Right. And what I'm saying is that requires the surface tension, because like the fact that water pulls itself in a direction is part of its surface
Yeah,
tension.
it's part of the deal. Like,
Yeah.
it goes down, and so when it hits a bottom, the tendency is for it to bounce back up, because that's
Mhm.
how
That's how water
that's how
works.
that works, But yeah, I'm constantly amazed by my friends when sometimes they call me when they have like plumbing or minor mechanical problems, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And within an hour, I've usually got it fixed. Like the most common ones, if I don't have it fixed over an hour, it's like, yeah, you got to call a pro. You got to call a pro, because this is beyond this is beyond the simple. And they're like, what do you mean the simple? And I'm like, it's real simple. It's
Yeah,
simple,
plumbing is simple. Yeah.
And they're like, no,
Water go down and away.
water go down away. And they're like,
That's
oh, okay. So it's interesting that this is why different forms of thinking are really, really important, because not everyone thinks in the same way. And I don't believe our consciousness is made the same way either. Our self-awareness. I don't think it's built. I think if you take two human beings and we're able to break down what makes up their consciousness, you would realize that the mix is always different.
Yeah, there's like a base formula, but proportions
Yeah,
are...
but proportionally, like, it's going to be very different. You got a lot of variance.
Well,
Um,
it's one of those weird things where I'm like, where again, I do tend to wonder, is there, like, again, like with the boomers, I do tend to wonder, is there a is there is there just like enough of an evolutionary difference in the way of our brain structure that we're noticing a difference on a generational level? Is there
no,
like even a tiny bit?
I don't think it's that. I think what's way
Mm.
more likely is it's conditioning.
Mm.
I think
Also,
conditioning is probably more likely the culprit. Um,
they are the only people I know who simultaneously try to hold an abundance mindset and a scarcity mindset at the same time.
yeah, yeah, and
It is strange.
it's not hard to see why. It's not hard to see why, because they've lived in both times. They've lived in scarce times and they've lived in abundant times. You know, I
I mean, but have they though?
yeah, they have. Yeah, they have.
I mean, the silent generation, I definitely would say,
Well,
but
yeah, but they also inherited that. They also
mm,
inherit that mindset. And to say nothing, like the first time I think that they really started to feel scarcity in their bones was the 70s. During the oil crisis and shit.
oh yeah,
Like that was a
I
huge adjustment.
I do keep forgetting about that one, simply because there was a pretty quick bounce back from
Yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
recession minded. But okay, yeah, no, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but they've gone through a scarcity mindset, but they don't necessarily have the trust that it will bounce back. You know, and I think
And then
that
take me. I'm a socialist. I say all scarcity mindsets are false and being controlled by other people.
I think that that's true majority of the time. But
Yeah.
I do see some scarcities in the world. It's just
Oh.
not the stuff. The thing that pisses me off is I'm like, the stuff that we need, there is generally an abundance of.
Oh yeah.
You know,
There's very few natural
yeah, there are
scarcities.
very few natural scarcities in the things that we need right now, and that's been true for quite a while.
Hmm. But
The
people
opening
are
up
still
of
starving. Yeah, I know, it's because it's false.
yeah,
It's because it's manufactured by rich people.
yeah, starvation in the current world is manufactured. It is a result of industry and poor planning rather than anything else. Which is very, 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 very irritating.
Yes.
But properly managed, because we live in a global economy, there's enough for everybody.
Hmm.
There's enough of most things for everybody. Um, although, kind of back on that, like, like retraining for modern manufacturing.
Hmm.
Um, I recently saw what they were doing with automation and picking fruit in California.
That shit's terrifying.
It is yeah, it is kind of terrifying because it's like you're like, holy shit, it can do that. It can do that, and it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It still needs human tending. It still needs a human to go like, no, no, you did that wrong. To basically, it needs a human to check the work.
Yeah.
But the fact
I
that
mean,
it can do it if properly directed is oh my god, which brings up an interesting point, which is California's need for migrant labor has diminished. And yet, it's one of the major states protecting migrant workers.
yes,
That I think is really interesting. That I think
it
is
is.
interesting because it's like, okay, so clearly for Californians, it's primarily the humanitarian cost. The humanitarian cost of like just deporting people and all that shit. Um because our need for all that labor is diminishing, and it's only going to continue to diminish for the foreseeable future. There's still a need, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be as great. Whereas you get places like, I mean, there's still things that don't have that level of automation, like construction.
Hmm.
Construction is not very automated. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm sure there's a reason.
Well, I think it's partially because how to put it. Lives depend on good construction, and there are certain
Yeah,
things you
yeah,
can't leave to chance.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You actually need people to put that shit together.
Yeah.
You know. Um.
Plus, also, it's construction is strongly unionized when it is.
Oh, that's a
So
good point. Yeah.
you know, but
So
yeah,
yeah,
but
but
yeah,
like you got Florida. Florida got fucking. They start getting rid of immigrants, and they succeeded. They succeeded, but like all their agricultural industries took this huge hit that Californians wouldn't have taken.
yes,
And I found myself going, "Oh my god, those places that most want the secure borders are the ones most reliant on the economically on those borders being open." And I think that's the resentment.
yeah. Conditioning, brainwashing, and gaslighting are really powerful, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'm realizing, like, yeah, in California, you're not. Yeah, yeah, we got like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of Trump people in California, but, but overall, there's not this resentment of their existence. you know I mean, not among Trump voters. Among Trump voters, there's huge amounts of resentment. But I mean, just overall, liberals don't tend to resent migrant workers, even though we I wouldn't say we don't come into contact with them. We do, but but we mainly come into contact them through domestic work.
Hmm.
Not agricultural or construction.
I
Um,
will. I will say, you liberals, I have a
yeah.
bone to pick. I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
Why did Why did Rachel Maddow tell everyone about Blue Sky?
Don't look at me, man.
Now all the liberals are on Blue Sky, Jack.
Yeah.
It was just leftists and furries and anarchists. It was that, and it was nice.
Yeah. Well, That's one of the reasons I'm not
Now,
on it as
now
much.
I've got, now I've got fucking middle class moms who have names like Tiffany telling me shit like, "Well, what are you doing about the thing?" Fuck you, Tiffany. I'm doing a lot. This is not the place for that.
Well, it's one of the things that is really hard for the liberal mind to swallow, and this is, you could tell me whether this is a good or a bad thing, because I'm not sure. Which is, to their credit, they always believe that something can be done. The problem comes when you have a problem where you can't actually directly affect it. You have no power in that arena. You know, for example, you know, America can protest pretty hard, but it can't call for a general strike. And that's because we have no power to do so. There are enough people who would do it if there was enough power to do so, but there isn't. You know, we don't have our hands on those levers.
See, and here I think this leads to the actual underlying problem I have with most liberals, which is, God love you, on a mass scale, most liberals feel icky about political dirty hands.
Yes.
They feel icky about it. There's a general trust in the system still, and it bothers me. It's one of these things like, well, if things get too far, you have to have a revolution. Oh no, we couldn't possibly. Why?
Because they don't want people, because to their credit, they're uncomfortable with using violence. And a revolution almost requires it. It requires some form of violent, some sort of sudden and immediate breakaway from the established order.
I'm going to say this, and I say this to every human being who can hear my voice. If you are not an out and out pacifist, I mean a total ideological pacifist, you do believe that sometimes violence is a proper response to things.
Oh yeah.
So if you are not an out and out pacifist, and you ever hear me or other leftists talk and you say, well, violence isn't an answer, you are a lying hypocrite, and you are scared. And I get that you're scared.
However, let's not delude ourselves.
Yeah.
We can be scared of this thing, but let's not lie to ourselves. Oh my God. Like, that reminds me.
Critical self-deceit is not welcome.
One of my, a relative of mine recently got married.
Oh.
And he's very politically involved. So I thought I would give him the test. And I was like, so, how do you deal with the tong? Because he's heavily into Chinese politics, Chinese American politics. And he's like, oh, you want to talk about the real shit? And I'm like, yes, I do.
Bribery.
And then I proved it. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, there's a huge amount of politics, even even in populist politics, where you have to get the gang bosses on your side while maintaining a specific distance. And it's very difficult. And because you can't get too chummy, otherwise you just become part of the mob, and you can't be too standoffish, otherwise you have no power. You have no local power, because they have all the local power. You know, they're the ones that can mobilize thousands of people at once. You know, they're the ones who can get that shit done. So you have to deal with them. You have to give them something, but at the same time, you can't owe them anything extra.
Well, yeah, because once you're in debt, you're in debt.
Yeah, once you're in debt, you're in debt, and now it's a problem. You get that, and he's like, and that problem will bite you in the ass. Now, usually, it's like under most circumstances, usually the ballot initiative themselves is something that they would benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll support you if you make the overture. You know, they understand that they have like this weird standoffish relationship with City Hall, and you got to understand that. You know, and at that point I knew I liked him. Because I was like, "Oh, okay, so you're into politics for real. You know, you're not
Mm-hmm.
you're not just blowing smoke." Okay, cool. Yeah. No. You can't. You don't want to enter the family. You don't want to enter the family. That's
No.
way too close.
Because now you actually ideologically owe something
Yes.
to
Yeah.
this group.
Yeah.
You
Exactly. And that's too fucking close. That's too corrupt.
as a politician, any deal you make with an organized crime syndicate that isn't a straight quid pro quo is a bad idea.
Very bad idea. Very bad idea.
I get something, you get something of equal wanted value. No one should owe anyone anything at the end of this transaction.
No money should change hands. You know, that's a big one. Like money should not change hands.
Well, yeah, because that's how paper trails happen.
Yeah. Exactly. There are a lot of
Right.
you know, you have to be he's like you have to know when to say you have to know how to say no to money. You know, it's like it's very important, and that's not just to be a good politician. That's to be an effective one. You know,
Also,
you don't have to be a good guy, but you do have to be an effective guy.
Also, give and accept no gifts.
Exactly. You know, which is very difficult, which can be very difficult. You know, but I was
not
like,
if you're a rude American. It's very easy to be a rude American and refuse it. It is very difficult to be a polite Chinese person.
oh yeah. But there are ways, tried and true, tested methods. You know, but you have to be able to negotiate that. Like there's an aspect of politics that is really hard for liberals to wrap their brain around. You have to represent the criminal element too, because you can't fire them. They're still there. Whether you deal with them or not, they're still there. Just like homeless people. Not that these two things are equivalent at all, but you can't make people disappear by making them homeless.
Mm-hmm.
They're still there. You can't fire people from being an American. They're still there. This is why they're trying to do the whole deportation thing. It's their attempt to fire Americans. You know, and the problem is, well, they can't succeed. They can't succeed in their goal because, well, let's take the obvious example. Not even the Nazis were able to kill all the Jews.
And they were smart enough to consolidate all the power first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta hand it to American fascism. It's stupid as shit.
Stupid as shit. Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And I mean this. All American ethno-nationalists, all American ethno-fascists from coast to coast. You are stupid. You are some of the stupidest people I have ever met in my life. It's like, oh, I don't know. This one guy talks real smart.
No.
Doesn't understand a goddamn thing.
Yeah. Because, okay, quick, in our modern world, in the modern configuration of the world order, what's the military's primary duty? The thing that it has to do, and it does do, and it has to do it well.
Maintain national interest.
Yes, but it's more specific.
Homeland defense?
No.
Do tell.
Guard trade routes.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah. They must guard trade routes. Who guards the majority of Western trade routes right now?
The U.S. military?
Yes. Absolutely. We make the world safe for trade. That is our place in the world order. That's why they're willing to fucking throw so much money at these guys. To make sure that that happens. Now, are they still overpaid? Fuck yes! There's way too much money going into the military. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You know?
The thing that's truly terrifying is that there's too much money going into the military, but of the money that's going into the military, too much of it is going to a select group and styling of people, and not enough of it is going to our everyday soldiers.
Exactly. Yeah, true. Absolutely true.
The fact that there's this much money going into the military and the average veteran is horrendously cared for and paid is disgusting beyond all measure. It's horrible.
Like let me put it this way. What do you think the what do you think the US Navy and Air Force, why do they have such a big presence in the Philippines? Piracy. Piracy, that's why. You know, that's the main thing that they're there for, is to make sure when you see that American ship come by, the pirates are like, fuck it, we're out.
They will actually blow us the fuck out.
Yeah, they will actually blow us the fuck up. You know, it's really, really, really important in the world order. You gonna tell me Elon Musk is gonna take on that responsibility? Bull fucking shit. But without it, nothing that he has is possible.
Well, yeah, he's not smart. He's rich.
No, he's not smart. He's rich. You know, and these rich guys think, oh, well, we can handle this. I can handle a negotiating table. I was like, no, you don't know how to negotiate against people with guns. On top of whatever else they could fucking throw at you that we're putting out into the ether.
There is this very weird thing.
Drone warfare is going to be the new piracy. Tell you that.
There is this very weird thing, though, isn't there, where, like, you become so used to operating in polite society and therefore being able to get anything you want with money.
Yeah, reap the benefits of polite society. Yeah.
Right. And then you get and then these same people get confronted with the power of, you know, like the power of the blade, the power of the gun, like just brute force. And they still operate under the delusion that their money can save them in that particular instance.
Yeah, because they're used to brute forcing with cash. But what happens when that cash no longer provides the brute force potency? Because these people are using other means.
You get a bullet in the head.
Yeah. You either get a bullet in the head or they just take your shit. You know, and if everyone's taking everybody's shit, you can't have trade.
Hey man. In nomine Patria Filii Luigi Mangione. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's why it's one of those things where I also get mad because I don't think that a lot of people understand what the purpose of liberalism and than neoliberalism actually was, what is and was. The purpose of liberalism was to stop Western sectarian religious violence and keep Catholics from killing Protestants because it was happening too much. It was fucking everything up, you know? And then that kind of took hold. With the establishment of the United States, that began to really take hold. You know, there's a reason why they were so, why they have freedom of speech and freedom of religion, while also the government is, as well as the separation of church and state. That was the innovation that allowed liberalism to be the order of the day. If they couldn't maintain that, it would not have worked. But they did maintain it relatively. So it worked just enough. Now, neoliberalism is the same idea, but applied to trade.
And it's evil.
Yeah. Oh, it does evil shit. Yeah. Liberalism did evil shit. They all do evil shit. They all do really evil shit. What? Why? Because it's the order.
If I have to, I want to point out to you, I want to point out to everyone here, if someone has to explain to you why Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher count as neoliberals, then you don't actually understand politics, and I need you to leave.
Yeah. I mean, on top of, like, because at bottom, they agreed on that. What we're dealing with now is neoliberalism is coming face to face once again with fascism, because fascism is actually a response to neoliberalism.
Well, to be fair, neoliberals and fascists can get along very well if the neoliberals stop pretending that they're social liberals. Because that's the thing.
Oh yeah. They're
Neoliberalism isn't socially liberal. It doesn't actually care.
No, it doesn't really care about that shit. Yeah,
exactly. It only pretends to be enough to get a vote in.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true, and that's fair.
Neoliberals and neocons are saying the exact same thing. One's just a little more brazen with the violent talk. That's
one's more racist. You know,
outwardly,
more outwardly racist.
They're both equally.
They're both racist, but in different ways.
Yeah,
you know, the problem is that we had this moment where we wanted some form of justice, and instead of getting some form of justice, what we got was a reaction against neoliberalism in the form of American fascism. Can't always tell how this shit's gonna fucking turn out. You know, and that flip was the Black Lives Matter march. That flip happened as a result of Black Lives Matter.
Well, yeah, because, you know, how dare the largest ethnic minority in America demand equality?
Yeah, demand some form of equality or justice.
Yeah.
You know, how dare they? And it was easier for people to embrace fascism than it was to embrace a world with less cops.
Which is a wild.
To me, that was super wild, because I'm like, who loves the cops?
I keep loving to remind people that the reason we don't live in a society with fewer cops, the reason why we don't live in a society with flat hierarchies, and the reason we don't live in a society that operates on direct democracy mixed with the honor system is not because it's impossible and not because it's against human nature. It's because we're all sad.
Yes.
We are collectively choosing to not live in that world. No, we're not. No, we are.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
Not every individual wants to live in that world, and not every individual is unwilling to do the work that would change it, but too many aren't.
Mm-hmm. It is one of the again, it's one of those things where, like, I keep hitting this with people. I'm like, no, human nature is not nearly as defined as you think it is. It's like, no, no, humans are naturally greedy, horrible. Like,
Not
no,
always.
no, we're not. We're naturally social. Naturally, we're social animals, and
Yeah,
the
but there is a segment of our population that is antisocial in that
yeah,
way.
and
Yeah. And by
those
antisocial, we don't mean introverted.
yeah, we mean against the concept of society.
Yeah.
And and those people are not well.
No, they're not.
Those people are not well.
They're not well adjusted. They are in fact the most mentally ill people. Like what
I have a lot of pity. Not a lot of sympathy, but a lot of pity.
I know what you mean. I know
It
what
is
you
a
mean.
pitiful sight.
Yeah.
you know.
It's well, they want us. One of the things, this fits in the mix too, somehow too, but it's a slight change of topic. So I watch a lot of true crime, right? And I watch a lot of true crime from various countries, primarily the United States because that's where I live. But I do watch true crime that comes out of other places. And do you know what I've noticed?
Hmm.
When something goes wrong in the United States, it's because of police incompetence.
Yes.
When something goes wrong in another country, it's not the police in a lot of other countries in the civilized world are way smarter than American cops. They're way smarter.
Well, yeah, and also their feet are held to the fire in the public forum
Yes.
quite more often as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like both those things are true.
Yeah.
And I found myself going like, "Oh my fucking God, we really don't expect much of our cops. So
No.
why do we have so many of them?"
Because the military has standards.
Fair. Yeah, in many ways. Yeah, a
I,
lot of cops are military washouts.
I was about to say, quick mental poll, everyone watching and involved at the moment. How many cops have you met who tried real hard to be in the military and just weren't fucking good enough?
Yeah, whereas the police forces of a lot of European countries don't do that. They're not like that. Their military is not what the United States is. But also they're expected to, keep the peace.
the fact that the vast majority of UK police don't carry firearms, and part of and because of part of that, their domestic dispute case solve rate is actually much higher.
Much higher. Yeah, because they take
Yeah.
people alive.
Hmm.
Taking people alive turns out that really helps. Um I was one of those guys. I was like, look, I'd be willing to say that if we're not going to just remove guns unilaterally, I understand why a peacekeeping force might need them. However, I need them to be held to a higher standard, not a lower standard, a higher one. I need it to be like, oh, all right, yeah, you killed somebody. Yeah, it was in self-defense. Doesn't matter. You're suspended.
Again, in the UK, there are police who carry firearms,
Yes.
but they are specially trained, and they're in response to a confirmed case that requires the potentiality of a firearm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a good system.
It seems to work pretty well, They always bring up knife crimes. Well, a knife is not as deadly as a gun. It's deadly. Don't get me wrong.
But
But
you can't kill someone from back there.
Yeah. Bullets actually turns out a lot deadlier. It's kind of like why we use them in war. as much as there might be like as much as they do still teach knife combat in the military, there's more of an emphasis on gun combat for a reason.
Now remember, when you run out of shells, you're gonna have to start killing the Nazis with your bayonet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a good skill to have in war, but like, let's not pretend that that's the military's training focus, because the enemy's not going to be throwing knives at you for the most part.
I personally, I would volunteer to live in a world where guns didn't exist, and it's like, wait, do you know weapons? No, 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 still weapons, but no guns. I'd like to. I would volunteer to live in a world where if you were going to kill a man, you really had to kill a man.
Really have to try. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. The
Well, because I think a big problem with modern weaponry is the ability to disassociate yourself from like the fruit of your action a bit,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it takes less nerve to shoot a gun than it does to fucking stab a guy 50 times.
and then it takes less nerve than that to fly a drone, and less nerve than that to drop a bomb.
Yeah, yeah. But the ironic thing is it still takes the emotional toll, which is funny. You know,
Mm.
at some point you do realize I'm killing people,
Hmm.
you know, and that doesn't see, I'm one of those guys where I don't know that I don't know if I'm a killer. I think I might be, but I don't want to prove. I don't want to test that. I don't want to have to test that. I don't want to have to prove that.
I I believe deep down that in the right circumstance, I could be pushed to for defense of myself or others, not out of rage, but for defense of myself or others. I do believe I could find that in me, and that kind of terrifies me a
Yeah,
little.
yeah, it's kind of upsetting, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think I could do it given the right circumstances, but like, yikes.
Yeah, that's a weird thought to grapple with.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very strange thought to grapple with, which is why when people are like gung ho with guns, I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, no,
You
people who are
know?
flippant about the note who are truly flippant about the notion, I'm just like, "Oh, you're either a sociopath or too ignorant to have that, and I don't know
Yeah,
which I'm more terrified
yeah,
by."
yeah, exactly, exactly. You know, like also, I don't like to. I'm uncomfortable with the thought of being a killer being seen as a good thing.
I remember I was so I'm currently finishing up the current D20 season, which is a steampunk themed one right
Oh,
now.
okay.
And and I was watching the latest episode of Adventuring Party, which is like their show, which is like their kind of like post session hangout and discussion show. And and in their most recent episode, Brennan Lee Mulligan said something very interesting where he was talking about he was in this one campaign once where there was a civilization of like halflings,
Yeah.
and they did have statues to heroes, but they were always viewed as tragic.
Mm.
They weren't glorified. Like their sacrifice wasn't glorified, it was mourned. And at one point there was a character who's from like a more warrior style civilization and confronts one of the halflings like, why you do this, blah blah blah. And one of them and the person the character is talking to says, these they deserve to be remembered for what they did, so we remember them, but we do not glorify them. They are tragedies and they are mourned because every hero requires more sacrifice than you should ever ask a single person. So whenever a need for a hero arises, it's because we as a society have failed.
Mm. Oh, that's a
And I think that's actually
yeah, yeah,
and I think that's actually how we should start viewing this shit.
yeah.
Um I think that that's a major problem. I think we do have like internationally, I think we do have like a social problem of glorifying the sacrifice of the hero in a way that's almost fetishistic,
Yes,
instead of acknowledging that
yes.
no, heroes happen because there's a tragedy. Heroes happen because a single person is being called on to sacrifice more than anyone should. And it is kind of like a collective failing. Because instead of like asking,
Oh, thank you, man.
sustenance,
Oh. Oh, thanks. Oh, oh, that's actually quite nice. Um, hang on a
okay,
minute. Let me get some coffee on top of
fair
that.
enough.
You know, but yeah, that is a very sobering thought, and I think it's
It
a good
is.
one.
It's sobering. It is sobering. And I promise, RLM, no spoilers. I'm I'm up to date. That doesn't mean everybody else is. I'm waiting for this to end so I can start in on that new Critical Role thing that Brennan's doing with them, because that shit looks insane. But yeah, it is a sobering thought, and I think that is how we should view that shit. You cannot see because it's off screen, but there's a cat in a sleep donut formation just nuzzled against my hip right now. And
Yes.
I love him.
You know, but yeah, like that's yeah. What's the tragedy of the hero? What's the tragedy of the soldier? They had to kill somebody. Like it reminds me of this story. Um, I was having an argument with with someone over this. Well, I wasn't having an argument over this story. It was one of those like he was telling me this, and so there he's in a group therapy session as an observer. You know, because he himself is I don't believe he himself is a vet, but he works with vets very heavily, and
Mm-hmm.
so he's like observing a group therapy session, and one of the soldiers is talking about having to shoot a kid.
Mm.
And the therapist tried to give him sympathy, and the guy got really angry, like incensed. And I was like, oh, I get it.
Mm.
He doesn't want sympathy or empathy. He wants you to know that he's a monster and you should never become what he did.
Yes.
You know, like his tragedy is that he killed a kid. He does not want that to be forgotten. He doesn't want it to be glossed over. He doesn't even need it to be forgiven. He needs it to not happen again. And it will happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But his sense of right and wrong is that no, I don't deserve forgiveness for this. Because what I want is for it to stop. I don't want anyone to be in that position. And that should why is that a hard ask? You
Yeah,
know, like
it's
that's that and I'm like, yeah, that's the stuff that Brendan Milligan is like kind of getting at right there
mm-hmm.
with
Again, that's why this is why I'm waiting this is why I'm so excited to get into like this new Critical Role thing that he's doing, because the current the just started Critical Role campaign is probably going to take years,
right.
because Brennan has put fucking everything into it. It's essentially, I think,
Well,
three or four.
he's got to outdo Matt Mercer, right? He's got to live up to
Right.
that, you know?
Right, but there's like 3 or 4. John has already started seeing it. Like there's apparently 3 or 4 miniature campaigns going on within the larger overall campaign, and I'm just like, oh shit. And it's unfiltered. It's Brennan Lee Mulligan's unfiltered creativity and moralism in
Mm.
a, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna
Oh,
cry.
interesting.
I'm gonna cry. I know there's gonna be moments where I cry. I know there's going to be, because he does that. He's very good at that.
Yeah.
Oh
You
my
know, oh,
god.
one of the things I liked about the story that I was recounting that was told to me that I was recounting
Hmm.
is this this is a guy for whom only the forgiveness of God will count.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, that's real shit.
It is.
That's real, you know, like, you know, he has literally resolved himself to the judgment of God in one form or another.
Hmm.
You know, like, damn. You know, we don't. You know, and of course he didn't use those words, but I'm like, but that's what that is. You know, because every time I see like when you hear people, God has forgiven me, oh fuck you.
How do you know?
A, how do you know? And B, I still condemn you here on earth. You know,
The Lord may have forgiven you, however, you still need to render unto
you
Caesar.
must render unto Caesar something. You must render unto me something. You know, don't just like, oh, I don't have to because God's forgiven me. Oh,
Tie the red string around your horns and throw yourself into the desert, for Azazel demands
man's
payment.
payment. Yeah, you know, exactly. You know, like, but like, you know, someone. It's kind of awe inspiring to hear about someone who actually, whether or not they were actually Christian, like essentially do that. Essentially do like, oh
Yeah.
no, oh no, I'm not. I do not. I I neither deserve nor neither want nor deserve man's forgiveness.
Hmm.
I think that that would be wrong,
Untenable.
untenable.
You
You
know.
know, because this should be bad. You know, what I
Yes.
did should be considered an evil thing. You know, damn.
No, it's true, man. Like, fuck. Hey, Bubba's. You know, there's a cat in a donut formation burrowing closer against me as I sit.
Aww.
I'm just like, yes, steal my body heat. What little I have. Oh my god. But yeah, no, that shit's wild. It's uh wait, I had a thought. Come back. Come back, thought. Where did you go? Shit. But no, it really is crazy shit. It's the I hmm I was having a conversation with someone that was making me very uncomfortable recently, because we were talking about, like, we were talking about like the evils that men do,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's wild, because there is no such thing as the force of evil. That's not real.
Right.
And they looked at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh yeah, there's no such thing as like a cosmic active force of evil in the world. That doesn't exist. And they're like, aren't you like really into spirituality and shit? I'm like, yeah. And anyone who tells you that evil exists as a suit is like a cosmic force is wrong. And like, well, what? But so, and they were like, wait, so you don't believe in evil? I'm like, oh no, I do. It exists. They're like, well, I don't understand. I'm like, it only exists in the hearts of men. It
Yeah.
doesn't exist anywhere else. and they looked at me like, "What are you talking?" They honestly couldn't get it for a second. I'm just like, evil exists as a potentiality of a certain level of consciousness.
Yes.
It's only when you have self-awareness and free will that you can do evil. It doesn't exist as an outside force. It's not an outside influence. It's an internal one.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, there is no. That's not a thing. And they were like, "Well, don't you believe in demons?" I'm like, "Demons are different. Demons are different. That's a different thing."
uh
And that's not a bullshit. And again, if you have experience with occultism, you know that's not bullshit. That is true. Demons are a different thing.
yeah.
They are not ontological evil. They are don't get me wrong, a lot of them kind of suck.
Yeah.
Like like I don't demons are weird, man.
I see demons as like thoughts looking for an expression.
Mhm.
And those can either be, and that can be anything. You know, it could be a bad thing, it could be a good thing, it could be a neutral thing.
Right.
Um,
It's just that the ones that we categorize as demons tend to be more terrestrial in their what we would consider terrestrial in their aims
yeah,
and in their concerns.
yes,
They're less concerned about the order of the spheres and shit. They're less concerned about that. That's angels, and angels is they're hard. They're
they are not what people think either.
they're annoying. Angel, no, I'm gonna say it right now. Angels are annoying.
They are a little rigid in their thinking.
Well, they're algorithms, so
Yeah,
yes. There's again, if we go back to Eliphas Levi, it's just like it's a machine. It's a spiritual cosmological machine. And these are programs and algorithms that but they're conscious. I know. It's kind of fucky. I know.
yeah, yeah. You know,
Oh my god.
yeah. There's a reason that some people equate them with aliens.
Oh
You
yeah, I
know,
get it.
yeah,
I get it. It's this whole thing of like it's very weird because people are like, oh, what, you don't think these are aliens? I'm like, well, wait. When you say alien, do you mean a physical extraterrestrial life
yeah. Or
form?
do you mean like a non-human intelligence?
Because yeah, right, because that's the thing. It's like I don't believe that like demons are physical beings from a different planet. If they exist outside of our if they do exist outside of our heads, I do believe that they are extraplanar.
Yeah,
I do believe that they are interdimensional, but that doesn't mean that they're not from
yeah,
here.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that doesn't.
My thing, the way I always put it is, I'm like, I believe that the imagination is in some sense a real place.
Yes,
I don't understand what the reality of that is
right.
because
It's just
it's kind of
and
unknowable.
exactly and whatever, however real or unreal that is, demons are just one of the groups of natural flora and fauna of that space,
Yeah,
whatever it be.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's how I
um,
see it as well.
yeah, like the astral be big as fuck. You know,
Yeah,
there's a lot of places, a lot of spaces to go, but yeah, no, it's god, I someone was asking me recently about angel magic and I was like, don't do it, just don't do it, like, and it was like that was my legitimate response. Someone was like, hey, I've started to look into a Nokian. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't fucking do
oh,
it.
John D.
John D and his little scrying buddy who was a bit of a shyster, always looking for treasure.
Mm-hmm.
That will always piss me off. I'm like, what do you mean you made contact with angels, one of which carrying a book of new prophecies for the continuation of the world written in celestial blood, and you asked it about buried treasure? The fuck do you mean?
What I don't know how
Why?
this.
Why did you do that?
One of the things that I find. Okay, so I don't want to say everything is based in racism, but everything's based in racism.
Yes.
Because I went on a little journey and
Oh.
I realized something.
Hmm.
Okay.
A regular journey or a journey?
I was flying, I wasn't in orbit.
Fair enough.
So, quick. Why do we have the beauty standards that we have?
Eurocentrism.
Yes. But specifically in Eurocentrism, it's because of colonialism.
Yes.
Because they really, 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 really wanted there to be a moral difference between women that you marry in the house of God properly
Mm-hmm.
and the women you wanted to fuck.
And one of those things can be skin color and nose shape.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Because
Yes, it is.
I am absolutely like, okay, so the Venus of Willendorf, right?
Beautiful.
That beautiful. And it's something that you see that's everywhere. Those little statues are everywhere. And I don't mean like the modern ones. I mean, like we find the old ones that are everywhere. And I'm like, look, the only thing that is, in my experience, that is as universal as the Venus of Willendorf is porn. And we call our sexual fixations fetishes for a reason. So I'm like, no, these are sex fetishes and objects in all senses, in all ways. Like you look at it, you get a hard on. I mean, maybe not so much in the modern day, but like that was the idea. I think that was the idea. It could also be used as a dildo. You use it for clitoral stimulation.
I mean, if we look at the female Yazidi ritual objects for the times they speak to Malektaus every year.
Yeah, it's sort of like that's a dick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think they are. But the reason that we don't, the reason the shape of our sexual objects has changed, but stays within this kind of modern bracket, is because we're afraid to be sexually attracted to black women.
Which is the stupidest, craziest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Right? But it's something. It's also something you're indoctrinated with. If you're a like even in black communities, they're indoctrinated with a version of that shit. Just from being within a Western culture.
Oh yeah, and it's wild. It's why I consider myself very lucky to have grown up the way that I did. Because I'm not gonna say that I never had to unpack shit. That would be wild. That would be blessed and wild. However, I feel that I've had to mentally and emotionally unpack shit at a much lower and different rate than a lot of white cis heterosexual.
Yeah. Being gay puts you a little outside of that.
Being gay puts you a little outside of that. Being non-white puts you a little outside of that.
Yeah.
Also, being within a certain socioeconomic bracket also puts you a little outside of that.
Yes. Yeah.
I was in this particular in this trifecta. I was very lucky in this way.
Yeah, because what is the attraction to the slim white woman really about? It ain't about fucking. What's it really about?
The ability to force your genes out into the world.
Not what I was looking for. Status.
Status.
Status. She's the status object.
Not the status
You know?
person.
Yeah. Not the person with the
object.
status, but the status object. You know, it is. They are. It's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, beauty standards. That's the ultimate objectification. You know, because that is all about the status you confer onto your wedded husband. You don't get to have it. You know, doesn't matter for you. You just confer it. You know, you're just the vessel for that shit. And that's why there are so few black women that like fit in that, because it was chosen. Something was chosen that not a lot of that fewer black women were able to conform to. It was on purpose. It was done to you, you know? Yeah, the fashion industry is absolutely fucking based in that shit. You know, absolutely fucking is, you know? And they have a million excuses as to why it is the way they're all excuses. They're all fucking excuses. Because if I look at a supermodel versus what works for my dick, there's a lot lacking. Like, I don't even have chub. I mean, at best I go, okay, yeah, I guess she's pretty.
I wish I was attracted to women and other feminine people. I really wish I was. I feel like my life would be better.
Oh, no, it wouldn't. No, there's a whole each one of them has their whole different set of baggage that comes with it. You know, just
I'm aware. I'm
dude, you know how often
aware,
I
but
thought that maybe my emotional life would be easier if I was just gay.
Well, that's a lie.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Well, that's because it's disgusting out here. No, it truly is like really disgusting out here. Like Jack.
Yeah.
A gentleman I do not know. A gentleman I've never met. A gentleman I have not even hooked up with yet.
Okay.
Recently sent me a message, started like a conversation with me on a social app, and I was like, okay. Brought out the question, so are you going to get implants or just take hormones? And I was like,
what?
I was like, who are you?
Yeah, who is you? I don't know you like that.
I'm like, even if like we were very close, what I plan to do with my gender identity and my transition is a very personal fucking.
Yeah, that I can understand that.
You?
I can understand that question being asked of a person who is very publicly coming out saying that they're trans. That might be a valid question, but you don't just roll up on someone and ask that.
Look, I get it. For cisgender people, there is a natural curiosity about there's a natural curiosity about the ins and outs of transness and its variety. I understand this. And if this was in a framing of either,
oh, thank you, cute little cat girl, for the donation. I appreciate it.
If this was in a framing of either we are already intimately involved and this becomes a legitimate wondering, or if it's in the framing of, hi, I am a trans person. Ask me things about that.
Right, right.
These are different situations. You do not know me. I am not involved with you in any way, shape, or form. And this just becomes a question for you to fill out like a perverted ass line of thoughts in your own head. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I need you to
yeah.
fuck off. Which is insane.
Because there is no good continuation to that conversation.
No, there's not. And I was very quiet for a minute after that. It's like, oh, what? You can't talk about. I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off. I love and cherish the men in my life who aren't pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of cisgender men are pieces.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I have gotten to a point where if I don't have to deal with a cis straight man, I won't. If I don't have to deal with a cis white straight man, I will not do it. And I think that's a fair standard to currently have.
Man,
Oh,
one of the man on the trans thing, I did come to a decision. As far as trans and my art intersect.
oh, okay. I was about to
You
say,
know.
wait a minute.
Yeah. No. We're still cisgendered male,
Oh,
I
no.
understand why you might have like been like, oh.
Oh, no. That has never been a doubt for me personally. It was just the statement. I've come to a decision about trans things, and I'm just like,
Oh, here
have
comes
you?
the Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I was about to be like, have you cisgendered me?
Which is realizing that it's a little complicated, but it's starting to realize on a gut level. Oh, you know how we're always saying, well, no one is a monolith. Well, I've realized trans people, hell, even if we just take it to trans femme,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a monolith either.
Oh, no, it is not. No, it is not. Like it's real wild because when I used to think I was outside of that bubble, I thought it was a lot. And now that I'm fully accepting my role in that bubble, it's like, okay, I can manage it, but it is a lot.
Yeah.
It is
There's
a
a lot
lot.
going on because, think of all the different types of women in attitude,
Mm-hmm.
that you run into among cis women. That also applies to trans women.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're like, and, you say it out loud and you're like, oh, well, yeah, fucking of course, right? But we're so used to putting people in these very easy to describe categories
Mm-hmm.
that we don't really know. Door opened. That we don't really understand when it no longer applies, when you can't apply those kinds of like container rules to something.
Mm-hmm.
You just do it reflexively, indoctrination and conditioning and all that shit, and I found myself going, I can only relate. It's like, I can only relate to the trans femmes that are like the cis femmes that I can relate to, i.e., the rocker chicks, the weirdos, the neurodivergent in a way that I can truly appreciate.
Again, this makes sense because it's like, yes, it's like this is a mindset that I can identify and hang with. Therefore, those who have the mindset I can do with. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. And so it's like, oh, okay, it's not a monolith. It's not a group of people I need to. It's gonna sound weird, but it's like it's not a group of people I need to appease, because what I'm really just trying to do is acknowledge their existence.
Hmm.
Which, as it turns out, particularly in fantasy, that's a big enough deal.
Oh, yes.
Like that is a big enough deal to put that in some form of literature, even if it's just like a role playing game or something, because we never talked about it a lot, but it constantly weirds me out that we really don't talk about it in the role playing space now. You know what I mean? Like now it is such an issue. It's like, why aren't we talking about this?
Well,
Why aren't we dealing with it? You
it's
know,
it's it's weird because, how can I put it? Because there are so many genderqueer and trans people who are involved in the role playing space.
mm-hmm.
Um, amongst the tables and groups that are friendly and housing to those people, it is discussed and it is dealt with. Um,
Wait,
it's
whoa. Say that again. I think I spaced.
Oh, okay. What I'm saying is, amongst those groups and around those tables that
Right.
are welcoming and friendly towards trans players,
Oh yeah.
it
Okay. Yes. Yes.
it does become a discussed and understood thing,
Right.
because so it really is one of those things of like, it's not that there isn't discussion in the role playing space. It is that the people who are dominating the conversation space are not talking about it.
Uh yes. Yes. Yeah. But that's actually what I meant.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That actually was what I meant. No, it's okay. Clarification is important. But like that actually is what I meant, because like there's only really been I've really only seen two instances of transgenderism even being touched upon in a published work.
Hmm.
One was When Gravity Fails, which dedicates a huge amount of space to it, because like
Yes.
that's what part of that setting is all about. And the other being Scion. Um,
Hmm. Yes.
but outside of that, not so much. In fact, outside of that, I haven't found any example.
Right. It is one of those things, right, where it's like there is this weird. There are times where you want a level of official acknowledgement from the game and setting in which you're playing,
Yeah,
and then there are times when the fact that it is a doable thing and everyone else involved just treats it as a normal thing is also what's designed. So, but yeah,
exactly.
there does need to be both. There, like both those things do need to exist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would if you weren't so allergic to Powered by the Apocalypse. What examples are you thinking of specifically there, John?
I'm going to guess that John is thinking mainly of sword lesbians.
Oh, Thirsty Sword Lesbians?
Yeah, thirsty sword lesbians, because I think there's a because or even out, but even outside of that, I know that there are sections of there are I know that there are multiple Powered by the Apocalypse games where gender fluidity and equality of that amongst players is mentioned, at least in part, in the instruction books, which is interesting.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
there's a large section of the, like, even in the TTRPG that I'm currently creating and writing, I literally have a section entitled "A Hex Upon You," which is like, hey, are you against LGBT or T or all of them or even one or particular? Guess what? Don't fucking buy this. I don't want your money. You can fuck off.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. One of the things I'm trying to do right now is create, and it's gonna be a little difficult, but
Oh, so John brings up thirsty sword
Sword lesbians,
lesbians,
kids on
kids
bikes,
on
kids on
bikes, and
brooms.
kids on
Oh,
brooms.
okay, okay, yeah, yeah, definitely 3 games that I'm aware of, but haven't read the books. So, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Um, hmm. Yeah, but I want to take it. I don't know how to say it other than I want to take it a bit further.
Hmm.
Like I've been trying to figure out, um, because one of the things that I notice doesn't happen that much is to have an iconic trans character.
Hmm.
And I found myself going like, no, I think Babylon needs that. I haven't come up with it yet. Um, but it's definitely something I think the setting needs. Like one that's like iconic that can be put on like books and interior art and shit. Who has a personality and a history that like the characters that the players and the readers can really get into. Um it's also one of those things where it's like I don't feel like it should be that hard, but I'm also a little scared of it, which is also why I want to do it.
Are you scared of it because it's different territory? Or are you scared of it because you don't want to fuck it up?
I don't want to fuck it up.
That is a very good starting point.
I've already resolved myself to the political heat. It's just I don't want to take the political heat and have done it badly.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
In Babylon, do you have is there the concept of celestial beings?
Oh yeah, totally.
Make them a fallen angel.
No, no. Oh. No, 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 no. Not that high up and far away.
Oh, okay.
I mean like a trans Medusa or a trans vampire or something
Oh,
like
fair enough.
that.
Fair
You
enough.
know, because in the big celestial, uh, there's also already the discussion of transgenderism among the followers of Babylon.
Mm.
Which I know probably came up with an entirely different answer than a lot of Thelemites would. Which, meh.
I was thinking of going to a Gnostic mass this month, but I don't think I want.
How come?
I don't know. There's just a.
Maybe a trans person should come up with the concept. I would love that, but the only trans people I know got better things to do at the moment. So I think what I'm planning on doing is trying to come up with the concept myself and then running it by them and then taking their input.
Okay, but you do want trans people's input on this.
Oh yeah, totally. If they offered, I would
Okay.
totally do that. It's just
This
one of
is
those like, well, one's currently making a movie. Another is currently like writing their 7th novel, which they've
we're
already
busy.
taken the advance on.
We're,
Like
we're busy
literally, they
people.
have better things to do than deal with my ass.
We're
You
busy
know,
people.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's one of those like, so the best thing I can think of doing is doing it myself and then running it by them, and then just going like, hey, I just need to know how close or off base this is. You know,
Please make
yeah,
suggestions.
please make suggestions.
And please yell at me if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of I want this input, but I can't get it, comes down to either don't know the right people or they got better shit to do. Which, fair. Fair. It's not like I have money to throw around to get people to go like, well, I'll make time. Which if I did, it one of the things that but no, I think I know the people that I would ask. I know the people
This is
that I
fair.
would ask,
This is fair.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Who's your
Goodness.
papa? Who's your papa?
Ah. Oh man.
Sleepy cat.
Sleepy
But
cat. Should I should
sleepy
I
cat.
should I let you go? You looking a little tired
Um,
yourself.
I could probably go like another like 10, 15.
Okay, all right. All right. No problem. You
I mean,
know.
it is it es ist das Wochenende. It is the weekend.
It is the weekend. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't
Oh,
I don't have to get up in the morning. No,
God.
no, no, no,
Layers.
but yeah, nah, fucking why do Jack, why do I make the dream concoctions from the wild herbs and then get side quests? Why do I do this?
Because it makes life interesting.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it easy.
No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. But easy is kind of boring. You know, that's the issue. The issue is it makes it kind of boring.
And the thing is, I could tell him to fuck off. I could say, I'm not making a group. Fuck off. I could say that. It won't end well.
Right.
It won't end well. Oh my god. But no, but you know what though? God bless this one woman who is interested, has openly said, "Oh, do you need help modding your Discord server for it? Because I have a lot of experience." And I'm like, did you just volunteer to mod? Did you just do that? You beautiful, wonderful
Wait, I do
human
know
being.
somebody.
Meh.
I do know somebody who might actually. I do know a trans woman. Two of them actually. They're married. Who might actually have the time.
Huh.
Can't believe I forgot about them. To my discredit, to my further discredit, I am still so used to dealing with them, assuming they were a cis male, because I've known them before and after the transition.
Hmm.
And they live like a continent away. They live on the other side of the country. They live on the East Coast. That's a little out of sight, out of mind. Which is probably the more obvious reason. You know, because all the others I was thinking of, they're all West Coasters.
What ADHD, emotional object permanence? What?
Yeah, exactly. Now I could fucking ask them that. They might actually go for it. Okay. All right. I'll work. You know, now it's a matter of like getting it to happen. We have a plan. Badass.
Oh, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd appreciate this. The eventual building has to look like a black church, like a uh in not in the ethnic sense, in the sense of like it has to look like a mythical satanic church. That's
Okay, that kind of black
yeah.
church. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
a little
Yeah.
racial with it in my head.
Yeah, no, that's why I had to clarify. Yeah, no, I'm supposed to apparently paint the outside black with black roof and black trim and all that shit, and the windows have
Ooh.
to have you know how like you can get like that you know you can get like these clings now for like the window designs and shit.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
I I have to make the windows orange, so when light shines from in it, it looks warm and ambery.
Ooh. Oh, cute little cat girl has a question for you. Hey Yogi, as a Jersey boy, want to know, ever been to Dracula's castle on the boardwalk in Wildwood before it burned down? Also in Hangouts, generally posted a petition to help rebuild it.
Yes, I know that. I know Dracula's castle well because I did get to go. Plus, also the Nichols family is Romani. They're not Italian. The family who owns that entire section of the boardwalk are gypsy. Little fun fact. But yes, I did get to go in it once before it burned down. Um, But yeah, no, I know that they were. I know that like that John Nichols Jr. was petitioning to like get it rebuilt again. It was it was awesome, Jack. It was a it was a um it was legitimately a rebuilt like castle model that had like a
Oh
haunted
man.
house section that you walked through, and then there was like an underground like uh uh like ride part of it as
Mm,
well, and it was you went through like a giant like skull with an open mouth. It was awesome.
that sounds amazing.
It was great. It was great. And the reason, and it was wild because like part of it was really sad when it burned down because part of the reason it stayed on the boardwalk in Wildwood for such a long time was because it was past what it needed to be for fire code. Like you know how like most like carny places you do like bare minimum for shit like that.
Yes.
This place went above and beyond. They were not required at the time by the fire code to put in a fully automated sprinkler system, but they did, and they checked it frequently. The reason being, and it's really sad, the reason being, two of the three Nichols brothers who ran it, they had been working at another haunted house style attraction like years prior, and a fire happened inside the ride while there were people in the
Oh
ride.
no.
And they themselves tried to go into the blaze to rescue a bunch of children, and they couldn't get to them, but they could hear them screaming.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
yeah, like it just like left like this permanent kind of scar on them where they were like, no, 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 no. We every safety code is going to be beyond like done when this happens. But it was really sad because when it did burn down, what happened was it was teenagers that like broke in and set something on fire and ran away.
Oh.
Luckily, it was not in operation at the moment, so there was no one
Okay.
inside. So there was no one inside of it. But the reason it ended up burning down was because the fire that they started, it started too close to the circuit box that operated everything, and so that shorted out. So the sprinkler sensors didn't go off.
Oh.
If the fire had started anywhere else in the building, the sprinklers would have kicked on and would have saved it. Wild shit.
Oh. Man, that's rough. That is rough.
It is. It stayed there for it was like over 20 years that that place was there. It was great. They had a they had a little animatronic Dracula that like popped out of the balcony and like yelled at you. It was great.
Oh,
Uh
that sounds awesome.
yeah, yeah, little animatronic Dracula would come out and be like, "Ah, I see mortals dare to come to my castle." It was so funny.
Man. Yeah,
They
that
just had
sounds
a guy.
cool.
They just got a guy who could do like a really thick Romanian accent to do it. It was funny. There's so there's another guy who did a doc on YouTube about it. I also asked Yogi this question recently. Yeah, no, there's like a little mini doc on YouTube right now about Dracula's castle in New Jersey.
Mm.
It was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool place. Uh, Especially since it was one of the first spots on, you know, like now we're very used to like modeling foam to like build sets and shit.
Yeah.
It was one of the first places on the Wildwood Boardwalk that used a mass amount of that set building foam to like put down and like carve out by hand a set
Oh
from it.
man.
Like the giant skull that you went through was solid foam that was like hand carved and painted.
Oh, that also explains why it burned down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff will just melt.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Again, this is part of why. Again, they knew this. The Nichols family knew this. This is part of why they were so insistent on having a very thorough fireproofing like
Man.
situation. Um, which again, it just makes the ending of it very ironically sad. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, that place was wild. Like they owned like half that boardwalk too. They owned like so much shit. Oh, and then they got bought out by a private interest.
Oh.
To be fair, like they only sold after like there were no more kids who wanted to take on the family business, so they got all the money out of that they were gonna.
Okay. All right.
So there's at least that.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
man.
yeah, there's a where it once stood. There's one of those like wave pool things now for like you to do like fake surfing and shit. Which don't get
Nice.
me wrong, that is fun.
Right. Right.
But
But
it
it's
doesn't.
not the haunted house, you
No,
know.
it's not the haunted house, man. The haunted house is always great.
Yeah.
And there was a it's great because they actually like they to actually build the castle. Because if you ever look at the pictures of it, it's an impressive looking castle. But to build it, they got a guy who did there was another like castle attraction somewhere like north, more farther north on the Jersey Shore. I can't remember where, but it was very very like famous for a long time because it was like directly modeled after like the Tower of London.
Hmm.
And so they poached that guy specifically to to build their castle because they were like, no, he's literally the best in the game at the moment. We gotta get him.
Oh man. All right. I think I'm starting to get a little peaked and I do need to take a nap, but there are a few things I wanted to do. First, one, John, when's the next time I can get you online? And when now that I've asked that,
Mm-hmm.
um, Sun Wizard asks, "Hey Yogi, do you have any criticism of Alphias Levi?"
Do I have any criticism of Afaas Levi? I have two criticisms. One is more general, one is more pointed. One, he uses a system of Hermetic Kabbalah, which,
True.
look, I understand that the Hermetic understanding of the Kabbalah is the one that is the most available to the most people currently here. I understand that. You should still try to study it in the context of mystical Judaism, because that is where it is from, that is
Yeah.
who it belongs to. And uh, a big problem with like the Hermetic Kabbalah, and I've noticed that like Alan Moore tries very hard to not fall into this problem. A lot of the issues with the Hermetic Kabbalah is that it's very like Christoized. It
Yeah.
becomes it
Yeah.
becomes very Christocentric, and I'm like, that's not how this is supposed to operate, because that's not what the concept of the Jewish Messiah is. So that's not how this operates. It's not what the narrative is. And yeah, so that is a minor criticism of Eliphas Levi, which is less pointed at him and more pointed at like a larger
Yeah. The
problem.
larger problem with occultism, you know.
Yeah. The more pointed criticism I'd have of Eliphas Levi is um his disdain for non-ceremonial magic. He
Oh
has
yeah. Yeah.
he refers to people who practice what we would refer to as witchcraft and cunningcraft and folkcraft as uh low sorcerers dabbling with demons. And I'm like, hey, I get that you were trained as a, I get that Elphus, I get that you were trained as a deacon for the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
I love and respect that you were actually, and a lot of people don't do this enough. A lot of people don't acknowledge the fact that Eliphas Levi was a communist and a socialist, and that he formatted his Western occult philosophy to specifically promote liberation ideology as seen and understood at the time within communist and socialist circles. So really Western occultism as it is in the modern day is actually based on socialistic values, and we don't talk about it enough, which is very annoying to me personally. And I respect that about Levi, but he was also so goddamn bougie. He was so goddamn, oh yes, the true magician with a pure mind who is sanctified at the inner temple. Oh my god. Go fuck something. Please, go fuck something. Just go.
Yeah,
Please.
right.
And my, it's weird because I have the exact opposite criticism of Anton LaVey. Because my criticism of Anton LaVey is, oh my god, shut up.
Man, you love reading your own words, bro.
Like, oh my god, like legitimately, holy shit. I was literally recently, I was on the phone with John while I was rereading some of like the ritual portions in the what is that in the Satanic Bible? It's not the Book of Lucifer, it's the Book of Belial.
I think so. Yeah.
That has like yeah, that has like the main like satanic mass like ritual that like divides into, okay, is this for lust, conquest, or so, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was rereading that
I think that's the
recent.
witch's handbook, actually.
I think
I'd have to look. I'd have to look.
I think the bait. I could be wrong, but I was just rereading this just recently. I think in the Book of Belial. No, the Book of Belial describes ritual. The Book of Leviathan has ritual.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that's also in the Satanic Bible. And like the Book of Lucifer, I think, is like the main ideological points. But I fucking, god damn it, Anton.
Yeah, there's a yeah.
But yeah, like, but there is a, but I was like rereading it like out loud while I was on the phone with John, and I was just like, oh my god, this is some cringy shit. Like when was the last time you read through the Ritual of Nine Angles, John? Jack?
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a
Oh,
couple of years.
Anton LaVey writing a Lovecraftian based satanic ritual is cringy as fuck.
Ah.
It really. Have you ever read some of the stage direction in
Oh,
there?
fuck yeah.
It's wild shit. Like I love like during that one specifically, where I want to point out to everyone, the beginning of this ritual, it does not say whether we're outside or not. It does not say it. It does not say it. This could be in the ritual chamber. This could be in the middle of a field at night. I don't know. I don't know. But there's literally a point where the quote unquote seeker throws like the torch they have down, and it's literally written, they run off into the darkness. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? They run off into the darkness. What the fuck does that mean, Anton?
Uh,
They're either going to a corner and hiding, or they're running out into legitimate nature darkness. Neither is good. These are both bad. Or, oh, no. The points in the ritual, Jack, you know, where it says, the figure of Cthulhu approaches you. Time out.
time out.
Time
Yeah,
out.
time out. Yeah.
Do you mean a person with do you mean a person in a robe with a paper mache Cthulhu head? Or do you mean a statue of Cthulhu? Or do you mean I should be hallucinating and seeing Cthulhu? What do you mean by this? I would really love some for someone who doesn't believe in supernaturalism. There's a lot of supernaturalism, Anton.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, oh man.
The
It's
fucking, oh my god, and fucking God and Satan help me. I need to Jack, do you remember, too many J's, Jack, do you remember that like how they filmed a black mass in the black church with Anton presiding.
Oh yeah,
I know
totally.
they did because there are clips of it that end up in all the documentaries about him.
Yeah, totally.
I can't find the solid footage anywhere. Why?
I'm pretty sure that the solid footage actually belongs to the LeVay family.
Release it. Release it, you Randian fuckheads.
Yeah.
Release it. How dare you? We're related to the fuck the Black Pope. I don't give two fucking shits. I'm more I will say this. I'm more Christian than most Christians, and I'm more satanic than the Church of Satan. Do you know why? Because I'm not a bougie piece of shit. That's right. That's right. That's right, Magus Gabriel. I fucking see you. Fucking Peter Gilmore with all your fucking bullshit, with your shitty striped beard and your little black semi-brown tweed jacket that you wear over your little fucking turtleneck. I see you, Peter Gilmore. You're full of shit. I don't like that man that much. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like that the Church of Satan charges for membership. I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
It's this weird thing happens, Jack, where it's like it's part of why I've gone like kind of lukewarm on the Satanic Temple as well. There's this thing happens. Individual solitary people who call themselves Satanists tend to be really, really cool. Something happens when you put those people in in a systematized organization.
The idiocy of people in large groups still applies.
And it's so
yeah.
it's so
and I'm like, I can't. I'm such a bad joiner. I'm a really bad joiner. Because I have hard times joining organizations I'm interested in.
Let alone ones you're not.
Yeah, let alone ones I'm not.
I still think the best like satanic church joke was in fucking Death Clock. In fucking Metalocalypse.
Oh shit! What was it?
You remember there's like the episode where Murderface is looking for religion?
Vaguely, yes.
And they go to like a satanic church towards the end of it. And it's just really boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one where like Murderface just like stands up at the end and goes like, wait, is this really it? This is it? It's all the same shit. Doesn't matter. Every religion, it's all the same boring bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Like, and I would just like to remind everyone here, please, after you leave, pick up your paper cups and your snack wrappers and put them in a waste paper basket, please. This is a Church of Satan, not a garbage can.
I love the part though where like Toki goes up to receive the satanic communion and he just goes like, what is it that you desire of Satan, my child? It's like, I wish for revenge upon Rachel's Rayans of Food Networks. Okay, fine. It's like, dear Satan, please allow your demonic emissaries to wreak all the vengeance in the world upon Rachel Ray and the Food Network in this child's name. Amen. Wait, no, seriously? Yeah, seriously. Wait, you can do that?
Yeah.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah, somewhere between Toki and Murderface, I exist. On that in that spectrum, like because I have the same attitudes, man. Like sometimes I'm like, I used to join magical groups a lot, which means I didn't really join a lot. I didn't join them. I just attended a lot of meetings. And so many. One of the things I found out is so many of them fall apart because of one person.
Yeah, that usually is what happens.
Like in one group, it was this one girl who was like, I don't want certain language to be used. I was like what? Well, I don't want to say it. Well, then I can't promise I'm not going to do it.
I don't know what the problem
I
is.
don't
You
know what
can't
the
do
problem. I
anything.
can't identify. If I can't identify the problem, what the fuck? How am I supposed to avoid it? You know?
Can you write it down?
Can you write it
Can you-
down? Can you, do we use hand signals? Like, what's going on?
And here's what's going to be the saving grace of my group, Jack. Ask me what the binding doctrine is.
What is it?
We don't have one.
Yeah.
In my head, and tell me if this makes sense to you. In my head, the way I'm setting this up is this is a group of eclectic practitioners who come together for common goals. We do not say that there is one set of divinities. We do not say that there is one system. You can use whatever fucking system you want.
Yeah.
We are designing communal rituals for things to do together. Other than that, by all means, do shit your own way. We don't for my group, Jack, the binding doctrine is going to be spiritual sovereignty.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I thought so too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I thought about it. I was just like, the thing that makes the Gardnerian Wiccans cringy is their doctrine.
Yeah, it does get a bit much. You know.
Well, that and their whole fucking like, oh, we have 3 degrees of secret initiation. But fuck you. I shouldn't be so hard on them. A lot of them are nice people. They're just annoying.
Shit happens, man. It fucking happens.
Here's a question. Before we go. Who's more annoying to you, a Gardnerian Wiccan or an Alexandrian Wiccan?
Oh, generally Gardnerian.
Fair enough.
Generally Gardnerian, because those are the ones I've run into more, and it always comes down to, I have this allergic reaction to people who think that they are more special than thou.
Fair.
And that is something the Gardnerians have in spades.
It's also why I don't hang out with a lot of Golden Dawn people.
Oh yeah, I absolutely. I'm like, no, we're all people here. We're all equals. Maybe our knowledge is not equal, but as human beings that crawl upon this planet Earth, we're equals. And it's very important to understand that.
We are all beasts of the field who have received the divine light between our horns.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have to cope with that.
Yeah, we have to cope with this. Like, we're special, yet we are not that special. And that is something that I get a lot from the Gardnerians. Like, no, we're like these special healer people. And I'm like, no, you're not. If you wanted to be a special healer person, you'd become a doctor.
Our religion goes back thousands of... Stop it.
It goes back might be a century at this point.
Thereabouts.
But thereabouts. Yeah.
And they're like, but it's based on... Based on.
Yeah.
Based on older is not older.
Yeah, it's different. There is not a contiguous tradition that you can trace back hundreds of years. You can trace it back 100 years at most.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. Which is what, and we know, and we can tell the difference because anyone who's ever been to Cornwall and has spoken to Cornish traditional witches, like the traditional Cornish hedge witches who have been practicing for hundreds of years, they freaky in amazing ways.
Yeah, it's different.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna take some drugs and jump the hedge and go talk to the old one in the forest. I'm sorry, what? That sounds awesome. Yes, please. We don't cast circles. We're witches. We're part of the Fae. We don't fucking cast circles. That's stupid. I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah. That does sound cool.
I want to go run around a fire naked with a knife in the woods. And really, isn't that the religion we're all hoping for?
Oh man.
Oh.
All right. I should probably let you go at this point. I'm starting to
is fair.
fade and I gotta get a little rest before we do that vlogging.
This is fair.
So until next time, everybody. Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Remember, Satan and I love you all very much. And you could have some other demons in there too. Lilith loves you, I'm sure. You know, and until next time, Yogi, is there anything you'd like to say?
Hail Satan, hail the Dark Mother, hail thyself.
So until next time, I will see you most likely on Monday. And I love y'all. I'm glad you came down.